The story begins in Shanghai City. In a quiet room, a woman with blue-green hair, Zhang Wangshan, is breastfeeding her newborn son. She tells her baby, Chenchen, how lucky he is to just eat and sleep, smiling that while she's losing sleep over him, it's worth it if he grows up healthy. Unknown to her, the baby is not ordinary. He is reincarnated and has the consciousness of his former life. As he feeds, he notes his brain isn't fully developed, yet he is aware. A blue, game-like status screen appears, identifying him as Lin Zichen, 33 days old, with a biological level of ordinary Tier 1. He realizes he has a special cheat ability. At 3 months old, Lin Zichen is in his crib while his parents, Zhang Wanxin and Lin Yansheng, watch him. His father remarks on how physically gifted the baby seems, predicting he will become a mighty gene fuser, or at least a cyborg. As they speak, Lin Zichen is kicking. A system notification announces he has kicked 10,000 times, granting him the biological attribute Use and Advance. This skill allows any part of his body he trains to grow infinitely stronger within carbon-based limits. He feels his strength grow and wonders what his father meant by gene fusers and cyborgs, imagining superheroes. By 4 months old, Lin Zichen has learned to sit up and crawl. To avoid frightening his parents with his unnaturally fast development, he trains only at night. Each time he crawls, his system rewards him with points. A month later, at 5 months old, he has mastered walking. At 6 months, he can finally sit up and crawl in front of his parents without it seeming too strange. While watching television, a news report on aberrant beasts shows gene fusers and cyborgs joining forces to fight them. For the first time, Lin Zichen understands this world is vastly different from his old one. He learns this Earth has mutated, giving rise to terrifying creatures called aberrant beasts. To fight them, humanity developed 2 paths. The first is mechanical ascension, where humans modify their bodies with technology to become powerful cyborgs. The second is gene modification, where humans fuse their genes with aberrant beasts, becoming gene fusers to fight monsters with their own power. Realizing the dangers, the reincarnated Lin Zichen resolves to use his system to grow up safely, evolve his abilities while laying low, and survive in this perilous world. One day, the doorbell rings. Zhang Wangxin opens it to a woman in a blue dress, Xu Ming, their new next-door neighbor. Xu Meng introduces her family, her husband, Shen Jianye, and their young daughter, Shen Qinghan, who clutches a doll. Lin Zichen looks at the little girl with purple hair. He acknowledges Shen Qinghan as his first friend in this new world, sensing their destinies will one day be tightly bound. Time passes, and Lin Zichen dedicates himself to training. At 7 months, thanks to his use and advanced skill, he has mastered running, jumping, and basic language by talking to himself, earning stat points for each activity. By 8 months, his training has progressed to doing sit-ups and push-ups in his crib. He is careful to practice only when his parents are not around. But one day, his mother, Zhang Wangxin, walks onto the balcony and is shocked to see her 8-month-old son doing sit-ups. She rubs her eyes in disbelief. However, being a web novel author, she dismisses it as a stress-induced hallucination. Lin Zichen immediately pretends to be asleep, breathing a sigh of relief and making a mental note to be more cautious. A few days later, while giving him a bath, Zhang Wangxin makes another shocking discovery. She screams for her husband, Lin Yansheng. When he rushes in, she points out that their 8-month-old son has defined abs. Lin Yansheng is stunned. He excitedly suggests their son might be a 1-in-a-million prodigy with a bright future as a powerful gene fuser or cyborg. Hearing this genius narrative, Lin Zichen is relieved his secret is safe, realizing how lucky he is to have 2 web novel authors for parents. Lin Zichen reflects that on this mutated Earth, he is not the only genius. He and his mother watch a news report about a 2-year-old from a martial arts family who can lift a 20 kilos dumbbell with one hand. Zhang Wangxin pulls her son close, proudly stating that her Chenchen is just as amazing. Lin Zichen is touched by his mother's confidence and wonders if he'll also be able to lift 20 kilos when he turns 2. By the time Lin Zichen turns 2, his training has paid off. He has kept a low profile while secretly developing his strength, easily lifting a 20 kilos weight with one hand in the storage room. His session is interrupted when his mother calls that Han Han, Shen Qinghan's nickname, is here to play. Startled, he puts the weight down and goes out. He opens the door to find Shen Qinghan, now also 2, offering him a tart. Lin Zichen internally remarks that due to their different mental ages, they don't play conventionally. While Han Han is a typical toddler, he uses every moment to train. He has found a unique way to spend time with her. Since she likes to stick close, she serves as a perfect custom-sized weighted vest for his exercises. There is, however, one recurring problem, which he is reminded of when he feels a warm wetness and cries out that Han has peed on him again. Another year passes. At age 3, Lin Zichen's strength has grown exponentially, and he can lift a 40 kilograms weight with one hand. While watching TV, he sees a report about a 4-year-old prodigy lifting a 30 kilograms dumbbell and notes with satisfaction that he is already stronger. Despite his progress, his system still shows his biological level as ordinary Tier 1. He wonders what it would take to reach Tier 2. With these questions in mind, he steps out of his house for the first time. The world outside is a stunning, futuristic cityscape with beastmen and cyborgs, which he assumes are the gene fusers and cyborgs he's heard about. Accompanied by his mother and their neighbors, Shumeng and Shen Qing'an, he heads to the library. Since his parents don't let him use electronic devices, books are his best source of information. At the library, his mother points him toward the children's section, but Lin Zichen heads for advanced encyclopedias, with a worried Shen Qing'an following. The mothers watch in confusion. Shumeng asks why he likes these books, and Zhang Wangxin guesses it's his genius genes. While Shen Qing'an offers him cookies, Lin Zichen is absorbed in his reading. Through the books, he learns that all life is categorized into 6 biological levels: ordinary, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical, each divided into 9 tiers. He realizes normal humans like his parents are at the bottom, ordinary Tier 1, as insignificant as ants compared to higher-level beings. This knowledge lights a fire under Lin Zichen. He must accelerate his training while maintaining his cover. His system alerts him to a new quest: read 100 million characters to be rewarded with the celestial root of wisdom. Excited to train both mind and body, he accepts. For the next year, Lin Zichen splits his time between physical training and voracious reading. At age 4, he and Shen Qing'an begin kindergarten, holding hands with the IR teacher, Ms. Zhang Mei. His hard work pays off. Soon after starting school, he breaks through to ordinary Tier 2. His physical prowess is immense. He can lift an 80 kilograms weight with one hand, high jump 1.2 meters, and sprint 100 meters in under 11 seconds. Outstanding stats for an adult, let alone a kindergartner. One day, he finds children surrounding a crying Shen Qing'an, calling her a bedwetter. Seeing his friend bullied, he knows he must act. He leaps dramatically into the center of the bullies. He glares and unleashes a terrifying threat. If anyone bullies Han again, he will pee on their bed every day. The childish but menacing threat works. The bullies burst into tears, vowing never to return to kindergarten. Shen Qing'an looks at her protector with admiration. This act unlocks a new achievement, the title of Kindergarten Kid King, and a new series of quests. He is delighted he can work on multiple quests at once. Half a year later, he completes his reading quest. Having read 100 million characters, he is awarded the Celestial Root of Wisdom, granting him a perfect eidetic memory and peak human learning ability. Time flies, and soon he and Shen Qing'an are almost 7, posing for their kindergarten graduation photo. Even during vacation, Lin Zichen does not rest, now strong enough to train with a massive 200-kilo barbell. During the vacation, his abilities reached new heights. He could leap over 2 meters high and had broken the 8-second barrier in the 100-meter dash with a time of 7.98 seconds. His mind was just as sharp. Boosted by his new attribute, he had already finished most of the elementary school curriculum. His new life began at Sunshine Elementary School. Because he was already self-studying advanced subjects, academic competitions were easy. He effortlessly took first place at the National Elementary School Academic Competition just to unlock his title as quickly as possible. Whenever he had free time, he would give Shen Qing'an private tutoring. Though not an exceptional talent, she was diligent. With his help, her grades improved dramatically, and after one semester, she was ranked second in the class, with Lin Zichen holding first place. To speed up his quest, he also participated in school sports meets, breaking every record. Just when he thought his school life would continue in this predictable routine, a special new transfer student appeared. The teacher introduced the newcomer, a girl with long, silvery blue hair named Bai Shui. Lin Zichen immediately knew she was different. As she stood in the doorway, he could sense a faint, unusual aura that did not belong to a normal human. As the new transfer student, Bai Shui, walks to find a seat, the other students watch her curiously. Shen Qing'an leans over to Lin Zichen, whom she calls Xiao Chen, and whispers about how pretty Bai Shui's hair is, like winter snowflakes. However, Lin Zichen is not in the mood to discuss aesthetics. As Bai Shui sits near him, his mind is on the strange, non-human aura he senses from her. He wonders if she could be a gene fuser or the descendant of one. In the following days, Baizue proves to be an enigma. She doesn't speak to anyone and lays her head on her desk the moment class ends, remaining motionless. She barely even gets up for the restroom. At first, students are curious, even taking photos with her while she sleeps. But as her behavior doesn't change, they lose interest, and the classroom returns to its routine. This peace is shattered over a month later. A bizarre phenomenon begins. Bai Shui starts to secrete a viscous, white liquid. The substance has a foul odor and drips down her clothes and legs. The other students react with disgust, complaining about the terrible smell. A mean-spirited boy sneers a crude comment about the liquid and then pours his water bottle over her head, claiming he's washing her out. Humiliated and soaked, Bai Shui clenches her fist on the desk, and tears stream down her face as she begins to cry, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. The bullies erupt in cruel laughter at her distress. Watching from their desks, Shen Qinghan turns to Lin Zichen with a worried expression, asking if they can help poor Bai Shui. Lin Zichen is confused. He had sensed Bai Shui was dangerous, so he can't understand why she is crying. He agrees to help. As he walks towards the bullies, he reevaluates his assessment. While he still doesn't understand her, he realizes that for now, she isn't a threat. She is just a weak girl being bullied, and he has to step in. Lin Zichen walks up to the main bully and grabs him by the collar, calling out his name, Guan Chun. With a menacing smile, he orders the boy to wipe the water off Bai Shui's desk. Guan Chun is terrified and stammers that he'll wipe it up right away. The other bullies know they are in trouble. Lin Zichen is notorious at school for being skilled at both academics and fighting. Not even 6th graders dared to mess with him. Knowing it's better to comply, they quickly grab tissues and clean up the mess. Once the desk is clean, Lin Zichen's gaze sweeps over the group. He commands everyone involved to apologize to her immediately. The bullies, sweating and terrified, quickly comply. They line up before her desk and bow their heads, offering apologies and promising never to bully her again. With the bullies gone, Bai Shui looks up, her eyes still tearful. She gratefully thanks both Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan. Shen Qinghan puts a comforting hand on Bai Shui's shoulder, telling her that classmates are supposed to help each other. From that day on, Shen Qinghan makes it her mission to befriend the quiet, white-haired girl, always dragging Lin Zichen along. The three begin spending their free time together. Shen Qinghan is especially kind, always sharing her tastiest snacks with Bai Shui first. During one of these moments, as Shen Qinghan offers her a treat, Bai Shui hesitates. She looks at them and asks if they aren't disgusted by her because she smells so bad. She explains she's sorry for not trusting them, but since she was little, she has always been ostracized by everyone. Having someone be nice to her feels so unreal that she thinks she must be dreaming. Bai Shui looks up in surprise when Shen Qinghan tells her firmly that this is not a dream. Shen Qinghan smiles gently and says she knows what it's like, so she would never be disgusted by her. She declares that as long as Bai Shui is willing, they will be friends forever, pulling a slightly exasperated Lin Zichen into the promise. Overcome with emotion, Bai Shui tightly hugs Shen Qinghan. Tears of gratitude stream down her face as she thanks them for their kindness. After composing herself, she tells them she wants to give them a gift in return. She holds out a necklace with a pair of beast fangs, explaining it was a birthday present from her mother. She gives it to them, hoping it can be a symbol of their friendship. Shen Qinghan enthusiastically agrees, and the three children stand together in the schoolyard as the sun sets, joyfully declaring they will be friends forever. However, just as their newfound friendship was solidified, the unexpected happened. One day, Shen Qinghan is stunned to learn that Bai Shui has transferred out of the school. Lin Zichen confirms it, revealing that he saw her filling out the withdrawal papers. He flashes back to watching from the principal's office doorway. He saw Bai Shui with the principal and a large, intimidating man with cybernetic arms. The principal assured the man that Bai Shui's paperwork was complete and her information would be kept confidential. The encounter confirmed Lin Zichen's suspicions that Bai Shui's identity was not simple. From that day on, he never saw Bai Shui again, left to wonder about her. But he notes that the events that followed were what truly captured his attention. Sometime later, Lin Zichen is at home giving his mother, Zhang Wangxin, a shoulder massage. She sighs in relief, telling him the massage is perfect after a long day of typing. Lin Zichen internally notes that he learned professional massage techniques thanks to his celestial root of wisdom and is surprised by its usefulness. Their quiet evening is interrupted by a major news report. It features another incredible achievement by the Kyoto prodigy. At just 10 years old, the boy has successfully fused with aberrant beast genes and can now lift a 500 kilograms boulder with one hand. Lin Zichen recognizes the boy and realizes with a jolt that his rival has already begun gene fusion. His father, Lin Yansheng, complains that the Kyoto prodigy is always on TV, questioning if they are trying to turn him into an influencer. The parents discuss it. Lin Yansheng explains the boy is from a 1,000-year-old martial arts family, so they likely have advanced gene fusion technology. Zhang Wangxin argues it's wrong to use a child as a guinea pig. Her husband counters that for such a family, family interests come first, earning a sarcastic "you know everything" from his wife. While his parents bicker, Lin Zichen is deep in thought. He recalls that before the fusion, the prodigy could lift 100 kilograms. Now he can lift 500 kilograms, a five-fold increase. In comparison, Lin Zichen, at only 8, can already lift a 300 kilograms weight with one hand without any gene fusion. He concludes with a confident fist pump that his own potential is far greater. His confidence was soaring, but that feeling was short-lived. The next news report taught him the true meaning of fear. Breaking news shows a city in a neighboring country completely devastated by a massive explosion. The report states that based on footage, the attack was carried out by giant aberrant rats. The screen shows horrifying images of monstrous rats swarming the ruins, capturing a screaming woman in their massive jaws, and then brutally devouring her. The news report continues, confirming heretics were responsible for the aberrant rat attack, fanning the flames from the shadows. At a press conference, an official from the devastated Sakura country pleads for international aid, explaining the heretics are a shadowy cult manipulating the beasts. Watching the news, Lin Zichen learns the cult is an anti-human organization of traitors who serve the aberrant beasts for their own gain. He feels relieved to be born in a powerful, stable country, giving him a safe place to grow stronger while laying low. His thoughts are shattered by sonic booms outside. He rushes to the window and pulls back the curtain to see a squadron of heavily armed cyborgs flying through the night sky. He wonders why so many are being deployed, hoping nothing bad is happening. The next morning, everything seems normal. Lin Zichen waits for Shen Qinghan, who runs up, apologizing for being late. As she approaches, he notices something strange. The beast fang necklace Bai Shui gave them, now worn by Shen Qinghan, emits a bright blue glow. He realizes the fang is from an aberrant beast and the source of the faint, non-human aura he'd sensed from her. The glow fades as quickly as it appeared, and the two don't think much of it. However, between the cyborgs and the fang's reaction, Lin Zichen feels that something bad is about to happen. On their way to school, a striking woman with long red hair in a black dress leans against a lamppost, watching them. She comments on what adorable kids they are and steps in front of them, asking if they are brother and sister. Shen Qinghan proudly corrects her, explaining they are childhood best friends. The woman smiles wistfully, remarking how she wishes she had a childhood friend too. Then, her expression turns sinister. She leans in, eyes glinting, and asks why they're going to school alone and where their parents are. As Shen Qinghan begins to answer, Lin Zichen quickly grabs her hand, cutting her off. He pulls her along, stating they're going to be late, leaving the mysterious woman behind. Once a safe distance away, he gently scolds Shen Qinghan, reminding her not to talk to strangers. She nods. After school, Lin Zichen leads them through a deserted alleyway. Shen Qinghan nervously comments on how creepy it is. Lin Zichen explains the area is scheduled for demolition, and everyone has already moved out. Their walk is interrupted by a familiar voice. The red-haired woman from the morning appears, commenting on how they are finally out of school. She's not alone. A large, muscular man named Sheng is with her. The woman tells Sheng she's got the kids over here. Lin Zichen is alarmed. He had deliberately chosen a different route, but she had somehow followed them. The woman tries to lure them closer with a sweet voice, offering them treats. Her accomplice, Sheng, grows impatient. He tells her to stop talking and just knock the kids out so they can get it over with. Without another word, Sheng rushes toward them with a cloth, shouting he's in a hurry to sell them for cash. As he closes in, Lin Zichen shoves Shen Qinghan out of the way and squares up to face him. He clenches his fist and throws a powerful punch with all his might. The blow connects squarely with Sheng's face, stopping the larger man in his tracks. The immense force sends Sheng flying backward down the alley with a pained cry. The red-haired woman watches in utter disbelief, shocked that an elementary schooler could send a grown man flying. On the ground, Sheng coughs up blood, stunned. With Sheng down, Lin Zichen turns to the red-haired woman. Before she can react, he lands a solid punch to her midsection, followed by a powerful uppercut that knocks her unconscious. Standing over the defeated kidnappers, his expression hardens. He picks up a nearby brick, his intentions grim. He reasons that with no cameras in the deserted alley, he must finish them off. If they live, his superhuman powers will be exposed, ruining his plan to lay low and grow stronger. Just as he is about to deliver the final blow, the ground trembles violently. A powerful earthquake shakes the alley, catching them off guard. A moment later, a massive, clawed hand smashes through a nearby building wall. A monstrous giant aberrant rat emerges from the dust and rubble, towering over them. The beast ignores the children and looms over the unconscious woman, but instead of devouring her, it decapitates her with a swift swipe of its claws. The rat then picks up her severed head as Shen Qinghan screams in terror. Recognizing the danger, Lin Zichen scoops the horrified Shen Qinghan into his arms. He tells her it's a giant aberrant rat and they have to get to safety. He turns and sprints away, carrying her as they flee. As they escape, a flash of red and gold streaks through the sky. A female cyborg with blonde hair and rabbit ear attachments on her helmet dives into the alley. She moves with incredible speed, a blur of motion as she zips past the rat. Shen Qinghan, looking over Lin Zichen's shoulder, exclaims how unbelievably fast the cyborg is. The cyborg lands gracefully behind the monster. Facing the rat, the female cyborg prepares her attack. Her gauntlet glows as she charges her weapon and announces, "Anesthetic smoke." She fires projectiles at the monster, causing massive explosions that rock the alley. Lin Zichen shields Shen Qinghan from the blast. The aberrant rat is caught in the fiery explosions, roaring in pain, and is left dazed by the anesthetic smoke. Seeing her opening, the cyborg surges forward and finishes off the weakened beast in a flurry of strikes. Later, Lin Zichen watches a news report about the incident at home. He analyzes the fight, concluding the cyborg's power level probably isn't very high. He reasons she had to weaken the rat first, and it still took her 7 minutes to kill it. He reflects on the danger of giant aberrant rats, knowing they are tough creatures that can grow over 10 meters long and reach ordinary 5th tier. Fortunate that they escaped unharmed, the incident reminds him of the world's dangers. He resolves to increase his training to protect himself and those he cares about. He is later seen in his training space, doing weighted squats with a heavy barbell, his system rewarding him with points. Although the threat of aberrant rats looms, life continues. Soon, he and Shen Qinghan celebrate their 9th birthday with both families around a large cake. After making wishes, they exchange gifts. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, Lin Zichen had taught himself to carve in one night and crafted an intricate wooden hairpin for Shen Qinghan. She is overjoyed, placing it in her hair and exclaiming how much she loves it. Time passes quickly, and soon Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan graduate from elementary school and start middle school. As they leave, his system notifies him that he has completed the Dominate 9 years of compulsory education achievement, unlocking the Kindergarten Kid King and Elementary School Top Dog titles. He becomes excited to unlock the Middle School Overlord title next, which will grant him the Survival of the Fittest attribute. During the break, he sticks to a high-intensity training regimen. His training includes 1,000 push-ups with a massive boulder on his back, granting him huge stat boosts. His hard work pays off. Just before school begins, after a 10 kilometers run, his system announces his biological level has broken through to ordinary 3rd tier. His physical attributes increase dramatically. He can now lift 700 kilograms with one hand, has a vertical jump of 4 meters, and can run the 100-meter dash in 6 seconds. As his power grows, he wonders what level the Kyoto prodigy has reached. Coincidentally, a news story airs on TV the night before school starts. The report reveals the now 14-year-old prodigy has fused with giant ant genes and can lift a 2,000 kilograms alloy block with one hand. Lin Zichen calculates that since giant ant genes increase strength by a factor of 4 to 8, the prodigy's true lift without the gene enhancement is only around 500 kilograms. This means Lin Zichen is still fundamentally stronger. He smiles, imagining how powerful he will become with future gene fusion. The next day, middle school begins. Because he was the city's top student, all the best middle schools tried to recruit him. He accepted the invitation from Shanghai Middle School, but only if Shen Qinghan could be in his class. During registration, they are welcomed by the principal and their new homeroom teacher, who express how much they are counting on him. After a few pleasantries, he makes an excuse and leaves with Shen Qinghan. The real reason he chose Shanghai Middle School was for its excellent athletic facilities. They had planned to play badminton on the school's court before classes officially started. On the court, an excited Shen Qinghan tells Lin Zichen, "Xiao Chen, they should start." She serves with a flourish, calling out her fairy's curveball. Lin Zichen easily catches the shuttlecock mid-air, but their game is interrupted. A group of upperclassmen approaches, and their leader, in a backward cap, snatches the shuttlecock, informing them the court is reserved. His friends mockingly offer to let Shen Qinghan stay and spar with them. Shen Qinghan stands her ground, telling them they have to follow the rules, and they were there first. Lin Zichen, seeing them get too close to Shen Qinghan, steps in with a cold expression. He tells them to get away from her and reminds them of the first come, first served rule. The leader scoffs, arrogantly declaring he is taking the court. The leader holds the shuttlecock and tosses it up, but before he can serve, Lin Zichen moves. He declares that from now on, his rules are the only ones that matter. With a surge of power, he leaps and smashes the shuttlecock with incredible force. The shuttlecock rockets across the court, a white blur. It moves so fast, the leader barely has time to react. The force of the impact shatters his racket and sends his cap flying. The upperclassmen are left in shock, sweating and trembling. They wonder if Lin Zichen is even human, questioning if he's a gene fuser. One notes with terror that if the shot had been off by a little, their boss's head would have been taken off. Thoroughly intimidated, the upperclassmen bow deeply in apology. They tell Lin Zichen they understand the rules now and will be leaving immediately. They then beat a hasty retreat. Perhaps because word of the incident spread, no one ever dared to bully Lin Zichen or Shen Qinghan again. Aside from being bigger with better facilities, their new school life felt much the same. Academically, Lin Zichen was far ahead, having finished the middle school curriculum long ago. During class, he would read interesting books to pass the time. At night, after workouts, he would use his celestial root of wisdom to learn new skills online, quickly dabbling in cooking, photography, driving, swimming, and various sports. To unlock the middle school overlord title, he didn't just rank first in every subject, he also represented the school in national competitions. He stood amidst a mountain of trophies. To keep a low profile, he was careful not to win first place in every competition. A semester went by, and the title still hadn't unlocked. However, his performances earned him many fangirls who left stacks of love letters on his desk. He ignored them. Aside from tutoring Shen Qinghan, he focused on the upcoming school sports festival. He believed that if he completely dominated it, he should finally unlock the title. For the festival, he entered only 3 events: shot put, high jump, and sprinting, representing strength, jumping, and speed. He achieved an astonishing 201-meter throw in the shot put. Although he held back to avoid seeming too superhuman, he still easily took first place in all his events. Just as he was sitting with Shen Qinghan, admiring his gold medal, he felt a new power surge through his body. A system notification appeared, announcing that because his achievements far surpassed every other student, he had unlocked the middle school overlord title. With all 3 school-age titles unlocked, the Dominate 9 years of compulsory education achievement was complete, and he had obtained the new biological attribute, survival of the fittest. As the power flowed through him, he realized with satisfaction that the title had finally unlocked. As Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan leave school, he considers his new survival of the fittest attribute. The ability lets a predator devour the life essence of other creatures to evolve. He wonders what life essence is, lost in thought until Shen Qinghan calls for him to wait. Snapping back to reality, he gets an idea. He asks Shen Qinghan if he can borrow her beast fang necklace. She agrees and hands it to him. The moment his fingers touch the fang, a system notification appears. It informs him he has devoured a trace of the abyssal giant butterfly's life essence, unlocking a new guidebook with 1% progress. A spectral image of a massive, dark butterfly with eyes on its wings appears around him. He is stunned to realize the fang is a butterfly's tooth. That night, hoping to learn more, he searches for abyssal giant butterfly online. To his surprise, the search returns no results. Realizing he'll have to study this exotic beast on his own, he remembers Bai Shui had given them a pair of fangs. He rummages through his bag and finds the second tooth. Holding the second fang, he once again absorbs its power. Another system notification confirms he has devoured a second trace of life essence, but the guidebook progress only increases to 2%. He looks at the fang with disappointment, realizing there isn't much life essence left in it. He concludes he must find another way to unlock the abyssal giant butterfly's full power. The next day after school, to boost his training and ensure a quick escape route from any aberrant beasts, Lin Zichen starts biking Shen Qinghan to and from school every day. As they leave the school grounds, a man calls out to him, "Zichen." The man, in a tracksuit, stops them and introduces himself as Coach Guo from the school's martial arts team. He praises Lin Zichen's performance at the sports meet as the best in school history. With great enthusiasm, Coach Guo formally invites him to join the team, insisting his athletic talent surpasses his academic abilities. He urges Lin Zichen to say yes, but also offers him time to learn about the team before deciding. Coach Guo speaks so quickly and passionately that Lin Zichen doesn't get a chance to say no. Waving goodbye as they ride off, the coach tells them the martial arts team is in room C of the gym and that he'll be waiting for him if he's free to visit the next day. As the sun sets, Lin Zichen is back in his room, ready to test his new ability. He claps his hands, squashing a cockroach and a mosquito he found. He opens his hands to examine the dead insects, but feels no power surge. He realizes killing such small, ordinary creatures didn't trigger the skill. He deduces that only powerful or exotic beasts carry enough life essence to be devoured for his evolution. To verify his new theory, Lin Zichen decides to visit a supermarket that sells beast meat. With Shen Qinghan on the back, he bikes them into the city. They soon arrive at a large, multi-story supermarket. Inside, they walk through the aisles, and Lin Zichen notes that while there is plenty of beast meat, it's all pre-packaged. He knows he can't test his theory without touching the meat. Just as he's feeling frustrated, he hears a butcher advertising fresh-cut beast meat. He spots a counter with a sign reading, "Fresh beast meat, not pre-packaged, safe to eat," where a butcher is cutting up large sides of meat. Telling a confused Shen Qinghan to wait, he says he's going to check out the meat. He doesn't explain further, eager to confirm his suspicions, and rushes to the counter. He reaches out and places his hand on a slice of freshly cut beast meat. The moment he makes contact, a powerful surge of purple energy flows into him. Just as he thought, the beast meat contains a strong surge of life essence. He clenches his fist in excitement, a wide grin on his face. Shen Qinghan watches, bewildered, wondering why he is so excited just from touching meat. She approaches him with a look of confused concern, asking how the meat feels. Trying to play it cool, Lin Zichen casually tells a bewildered Shen Qinghan that the meat just feels fresher than normal and asks if she wants to touch it too. She frantically waves her hands and refuses, saying he has touched it enough for both of them. Having confirmed his theory, Lin Zichen decides to buy some of the beast meat to try at home, surprising Shen Qinghan. He isn't surprised by her reaction, knowing beast meat is incredibly expensive. Even the cheapest option, the ghost shadow squid, costs nearly 1,000 yen per jin. Deciding to go with the squid, he picks up a package. Shen Qinghan panics at the price, telling him it's too expensive and that he should ask his mother first. Lin Zichen simply smiles and pats her head reassuringly. He tells her not to worry, making up a lie that his mom had already told him to buy plenty for both of their families. A flashback shows his mother, Zhang Wangshan, happily agreeing to cook a feast. Internally, Lin Zichen admits that while sharing is part of his plan, his other, more important reason is to test if he can absorb life essence through consumption, as he worries direct absorption might spoil the meat. At the checkout, he buys 3 packages of the ghost shadow squid for a hefty 29.94 yen. The female cashier thanks him. As they leave, Lin Zichen thinks about how expensive the meat was, wondering when they'll be able to afford it again. By the time they finish shopping, it is after 9 p.m. Knowing the city has been chaotic lately, they decide to head straight home for safety. On the ride home, Lin Zichen can't stop thinking about his experiment. Unable to wait, he discreetly places his hand on the package of meat in the basket. He immediately feels a familiar surge of purple energy. His system confirms he has devoured a trace of the ghost shadow squid's life essence. A new guidebook for the creature is unlocked, but his progress is only 0.1%. A spectral image of the menacing, multi-eyed squid appears in his mind. As they bike through the quiet streets, he does some mental math. He realizes devouring a small amount of meat only unlocked a fraction of its power. He estimates he'd need to devour 100 jins to reach 100% on the guidebook, costing a staggering 100,000 yen. He considers the squid's special ability, to dissolve into water and vanish, and decides the powerful skill is worth the price. His course is clear. He needs to make a huge sum of money, as he can't ask his family for that much. He then remembers his second reason for buying the meat, to test if absorbing its life essence would cause it to spoil. He glances at the package. It's been a while, but the meat looks perfectly fresh. He grins, delighted that absorbing the essence doesn't ruin the meat. As he continues to absorb its power, his progress bar for the squid climbs to 3%. His concentration is broken when Shen Qinghan shouts a warning. He slams on the brakes, screeching to a halt just inches from a couple in the bike lane, and apologizes. He scolds himself for not watching where he was going, then wonders why the lane is so crowded. Shen Qinghan points ahead. They see a tense standoff. A muscular, red-haired man is holding a woman hostage at knife point. Shen Qinghan recognizes the hostage in terror as their teacher, Chao Mei. The man shouts threats at the crowd. The area is surrounded by police officers who try to de-escalate the situation through a megaphone. The police captain holds back an officer, Ah Bing, telling him not to shoot recklessly. The captain explains the target is too close to the hostage and using her as a shield, making a clean shot impossible. The officer suggests sleeping gas, but the captain rejects it, fearing it would provoke the suspect before it could take effect. While the police hesitate, Lin Zichen decides to act. He discreetly picks up a small rock from the pavement and flicks it with incredible speed and precision. The rock strikes Officer Ah Bing's gun, causing it to misfire. The stray bullet hits the hostage-taker's hand, forcing him to cry out and drop his knife, releasing Teacher Cao Mei. Seizing the opportunity, the police captain yells for his team to move in. The officers rush forward and swiftly arrest the disarmed suspect, while a female officer comforts the terrified but unharmed Teacher Cao Mei. As the situation is controlled, Lin Zichen quietly gets back on his bike. Shen Qinghan looks at him with wide, questioning eyes and asks if he threw the rock. He quickly shushes her, saying they should leave and talk later, and they pedal away. Just as they are about to get away, a voice commands them to stop. The police captain calls out, asking if Lin Zichen was the one who threw the rock. Panicked at being caught, Lin Zichen quickly denies everything with a nervous smile. The captain watches them pedal away, finding it strange that someone wouldn't want to admit to a good deed. He muses aloud that there's a reward for bravery. The word reward instantly catches Lin Zichen's attention. Needing money, he slams on his brakes, skids to a halt, and rushes back to the captain. He sheepishly retracts his denial, admitting he threw the rock and explaining that the money is really important to him. The captain tells him to come to the station to make a report, promising to help him apply for the reward. After informing their families, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan prepare to head to the police station. He assumes everything will go smoothly, but as the police lead the cuffed suspect away, something goes horribly wrong. The suspect's face begins to twist grotesquely. The police realize with horror that he's a heretic and is mutating into a giant aberrant rat right before their eyes. The monster breaks its cuffs and goes on a rampage, swiping its massive claws at the officers. The police captain gets on his radio, ordering all forces to open fire but to protect the civilians. The officers unload their weapons, but the bullets have no effect. A frantic report comes in, identifying the heretic as having fused with Rat King genes and calling for immediate backup. Realizing the danger, Lin Zichen apologizes, grabs both of them and pulls them away, urging them to run. He is relieved the monster isn't chasing them, but knows they need to get away fast. As they flee, a new figure streaks down from the sky in a purple aura. It's a female cyborg in sleek, futuristic armor. She lands a powerful blow on the giant rat, sending it staggering backward. Hovering in the air, the cyborg, a woman with short, dark purple hair, begins to charge a laser cannon in her chest. With a command to fire, she unleashes a massive, devastating beam of purple energy that engulfs the mutant rat. The creature roars in agony as it is completely disintegrated, leaving nothing but scorched remains. Lin Zichen watches, stunned by the cyborg's incredible power. With the threat gone, Teacher Cao Mei and Shen Qinghan breathe sighs of relief. Lin Zichen, however, is more concerned about his bike, noting with relief that the blast didn't hit it, which would have been a huge financial loss. Just as the tension subsides, he has a sudden realization. He looks into the bike's basket and sees the expensive ghost shadow squid meat has spoiled, giving off a foul smell. He now understands his initial theory was correct. Absorbing the life essence causes the meat to spoil, but there's a delay. Holding up a limp tentacle, he realizes he needs an excuse and decides to blame the fight and the now deceased heretic. Putting on a dramatic show, he throws the spoiled tentacle down, loudly blaming the heretic and the cyborg's attack for roasting the meat. Teacher Cao Mei comforts him, saying what matters is that they're all safe. Although they plan to go home, at the captain's request, they end up riding with the security team to the station. They didn't expect to be transported in the same van as the heretic's remains. After the laser blast, all that was left was a pile of scorched flesh on a gurney, and the smell was intense. As he sits in the foul-smelling van, another thought strikes Lin Zichen. He remembers that the beast fangs from Bai Shui still contained life essence long after the creature was dead. A new possibility dawns on him. Could there be life essence left in this corpse as well? And if so, could he devour the corpse's Rat King gene for himself? Sitting in the police van, Lin Zichen wonders how much of the Rat King gene he can devour from the heretic's scorched corpse. Deciding to find out, he discreetly reaches his hand towards the remains. The moment he makes contact, he feels a powerful surge of red energy. His system confirms he has devoured a trace of the giant mutant rat's life essence, unlocking its guidebook with an impressive 5% progress. He is shocked by how much he absorbed and realizes the freshness of the source is directly proportional to the amount of life essence he can obtain. The escorting officer, Ah Bing, notices his movement and tells him to sit still. Lin Zichen quickly claims he just needed to stretch. Later, at the public security office, he knows that while Ah Bing was easy to fool, the security captain is sharper. The captain informs Lin Zichen that he has applied for his bravery reward, but then questions him more seriously. He asks how a middle schooler, at such a distance and in poor lighting, managed to so precisely hit the heretic's knife hand with a rock. Lin Zichen gives a vague answer, claiming it's because he often trains his right hand. The odd response leaves the captain speechless. Their conversation is interrupted when Shen Qinghan calls out that her auntie is here. Lin Zichen is surprised to see his parents rush into the station. His mother runs towards him in a panic, calling his name with a terrified expression. She throws her arms around him in a tight hug, asking if he's all right and telling him he scared her half to death. He tries to calm her, reassuring her that he's fine and even got a bravery reward. Holding him close, his mother makes him promise that next time there's danger, he will hide somewhere safe first. She tells him with tears in her eyes that all she wants is to see him grow up safe. Lin Zichen is visibly moved by his mother's heartfelt concern. As they leave, Lin Zichen reassures his mother he will always protect himself first. The police captain watches them go, still pondering the boy's strange abilities. On their way out, Lin Zichen passes two female police officers discussing the case. One remarks that perverts are getting more brazen, and her colleague reveals the heretic was a liberal arts student from Guangyuan University, brainwashed by the rat god cult. The first officer curses the cult, but the second points out they need to eliminate the root cause, the self-proclaimed Rat King. The name instantly catches Lin Zichen's attention. In the car home, he immediately starts researching the rat god cult on his phone. Surprised to find a ton of information, he learns the cult's main base is in Shanghai City, and most of its members are societal outcasts. He uncovers a shocking piece of information suggesting the Rat King wants to evolve into a higher life form and is forcing its followers to gather evolution materials. This leads him to a chilling question. Has the Rat King, an aberrant beast, already developed sentience? His thoughts are interrupted when he glances out the window and sees a giant rat, nearly the size of a cat, on the sidewalk. For a moment, he wonders if it's related to the Rat King, but quickly dismisses the idea, telling himself that in the South, cat-sized rats aren't that unusual. Shaking off the thought, he realizes how quiet Shen Qinghan has been. He looks over and sees her squirming uncomfortably, her knees pressed tightly together. He immediately understands. He recalls that ever since she was a child, whenever she gets nervous or startled, she can't control her bladder. While embarrassing for her, Lin Zichen has always felt this peculiar reaction might be linked to some hidden potential within her. When they get home, Lin Zichen's mother, Zhang Wangxin, is shocked that the nearly 3,000 yen worth of beast meat is gone. Lin Zichen quickly thinks of an excuse, sheepishly claiming that during the emergency, he must have dropped it while running away. His mother immediately puts his safety first, telling him to forget the meat and that all that matters is he is unharmed. Lin Zichen breathes an internal sigh of relief, glad he fooled his mother. However, his father, Lin Yansheng, is more stubborn. He announces he is going back to look for the expensive meat, boasting that a fated wage slave like him is tough. Lin Zichen tries to stop him, arguing it's too dangerous and the meat is already spoiled. His father becomes suspicious, asking how he could know it had gone bad. Sweating nervously, Lin Zichen quickly claims it was an obvious guess. Meanwhile, back at the now empty public security office, the police captain is still pondering the night's strange events. As he smokes a cigarette, he can't shake the question of how an ordinary middle schooler could have thrown a rock with such incredible power and precision. Suddenly, he hears a strange noise from the corner. His eyes widen in shock as he sees a massive rat, far larger than any normal rodent, perched on top of the filing cabinets. Before he can react, the giant rat leaps down. The captain instantly draws his pistol and opens fire. The confrontation is swift and violent, ending in a bloody blur. The next day in class, Lin Zichen sighs at his desk. Reflecting on the previous night, he concludes he is still too weak compared to the powerful heretic and the female cyborg. He needs to make money fast to buy more beast meat like the ghost shadow squid to fill his guidebook's progress bar. He considers becoming an influencer or selling study materials, but dismisses the idea as too flashy and against his goal of keeping a low profile. Suddenly, an idea strikes him. He remembers that in this world, martial arts and gene fusion are more important than academics. He decides it's time to act. Later, he heads to the gym where the martial arts team practices in Building C. He finds Coach Guo drinking from a thermos and greets him. A surprised Coach Guo asks if he is there to join or just to learn more about the team. Instead of answering, Lin Zichen leans in and discreetly asks if joining the team offers a chance to compete in city tournaments and if the prize money is high. The coach smiles, confirming he would have a chance and that prizes are worth tens of thousands. With his main concern addressed, Lin Zichen shakes the coach's hand and announces he is joining the martial arts team today. Coach Guo happily welcomes him. The coach gathers the team to announce their new member. He introduces Lin Zichen, reminding them of his performance as the sports meet champion. The other team members, Zhang Kai, Huang Tianxing, or Ah Xing, Li Shutong, and Han Yiguo, introduce themselves. Finally, Lin Zichen introduces himself. Since Lin Zichen has no formal martial arts training, Coach Guo demonstrates basic fist and leg techniques. The coach explains the moves look simple but are difficult to master, noting that the team's fastest learner, Li Shutong, took a week to perfect them. He then encourages Lin Zichen to try. Lin Zichen assumes a ready stance. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom attribute, which grants him heaven-sent martial insight, he has already memorized and understood every detail of the demonstration just by watching. As he practices the fist techniques, a system notification awards him points in vitality, strength, dexterity, and proficiency. He executes the hand and fist movements with flawless precision and speed. He transitions seamlessly into the leg techniques, performing powerful, fluid kicks. Another system notification grants him points for his leg muscles, dexterity, and proficiency. The coach and the team watch in stunned silence. The coach's jaw drops, and he almost fumbles his thermos, unable to believe it. He wonders how someone could learn the complex forms perfectly after one look. Staring at the flawless performance, a single thought forms in his mind. He must be a once-in-a-million martial arts prodigy. That evening in Shanghai, Lin Zichen's mother, Jiang Wangxin, calls him for dinner. He rushes out eagerly, spoon in hand, asking what she made. She proudly presents a large platter of the ghost shadow squid he wanted. The aroma is incredible, and he tells his mother how amazing it smells. She urges him to eat while it's hot. He takes a bite and praises her cooking as the best in the world. Pleased, she tells him to eat a lot, as she bought 3 full gins for him. As he eats, a system notification appears. He has devoured a trace of the ghost shadow squid's life essence by consuming it, bringing his guidebook progress to 3.01%. He realizes with frustration that eating the meat works just as well. If he had known, he wouldn't have spoiled the first batch by touching it. While they eat, a news report catches their attention. It's about a 14-year-old genius girl, the youngest cyborg in history after fusing with an energy core. Her energy system grants her superhuman abilities, lifting a 5,000-kilogram SUV with one hand, sprinting 100 meters in 3 seconds, and jumping 8 meters vertically. Watching this, Lin Zichen ponders the debate in his world. Between the Kyoto prodigy's gene fusion and this girl's cybernetics, which path is stronger? His thoughts are interrupted by another breaking news story. It announces that the security captain they met, He Chun-shan, was killed in his office. Surveillance footage showed he was attacked and devoured by a giant mutant rat that infiltrated the station. Medics are shown wheeling his body into an ambulance. Lin Zichen is horrified. He recalls the large rat he saw the night before and wonders if it was connected. He imagines a giant rat rampaging through the city. The captain's death is a grim reminder of the escalating danger. Staring intently, Lin Zichen decides he must intensify his training immediately. Following the police captain's death, Lin Zichen dedicates himself to a grueling training regimen. After intense practice, he can now sprint 100 meters in a blistering 4.61 seconds. His physical power has skyrocketed. His vertical jump is 5.3 meters, and he can lift an astounding 1,200 kilograms with one hand. In addition to his personal training, he continues his martial arts practice with the school team, hoping to boost his strength quickly for the upcoming tournament. The next morning at school, he heads to the gym to practice, with a curious Shen Qinghan tagging along. On their way, a girl with pink hair warmly greets Lin Zichen and offers him a bottle of fresh milk. He politely declines, thanking her, and walks past with Shen Qinghan, leaving the girl disappointed. Watching from a distance is his teammate, Zhang Kai. He clenches his fist in anger, resentful that the person who beat him at the sports meet is rejecting a gift from the girl he admires. Unable to contain his frustration, Zhang Kai rushes forward and blocks their path. He confronts Lin Zichen, scolding him for his poor manners and for hurting the girl's feelings. When Lin Zichen calmly explains he is allergic to milk, Zhang Kai refuses to believe him and calls him a liar. Enraged, Zhang Kai points at Lin Zichen and challenges him to a spar. He sets the terms. If he loses, he will never bother Lin Zichen again, but if Lin Zichen loses, he must drink the whole bottle of milk. Just as the challenge is issued, a new system notification appears. A new achievement mission has been triggered. Defeat 1,000 different opponents in formal competition for the survival of the fittest biological trait. A sly grin spreads across Lin Zichen's face. This is the opportunity he has been waiting for. Surrounded by a menacing purple aura, he accepts the challenge, his eyes glinting with anticipation as he agrees to the spar. Word of the duel spreads quickly through the school. Two students excitedly decide to go watch the fight between the popular junior, Lin Zichen, and a senior. By the time they are ready, the gym is packed with onlookers in a large circle around the sparring area. The crowd is clearly on Lin Zichen's side. Many of his female fans cheer him on, telling him to teach his opponent a lesson, including the pink-haired girl from earlier who gets her phone ready. Zhang Kai scoffs, annoyed that everyone assumes he will lose. He internally admits Lin Zichen's talent has grown incredibly over the past month. He sees this duel as his last chance to put the rising genius in his place and show off his own strength. In contrast to his opponent's intensity, Lin Zichen seems unfazed. He casually states that he needs to go home for dinner and asks if they can make the fight quick. Taking this as an insult, Zhang Kai smirks and agrees to grant his wish. Coach Guo steps between them to officiate. He raises his hand to start, reminding them of the rules. However, before the fight begins, Zhang Kai shouts for them to wait. With a condescending grin, he offers Lin Zichen a handicap. He points out that he has trained for nearly 2 years, while Lin Zichen is a novice of only a month. To be fair, he declares he will let Lin Zichen have the first 3 moves. Lin Zichen simply agrees. The moment he agrees, Lin Zichen explodes into motion. He closes the distance in a blur, catching Zhang Kai by surprise. Before his opponent can raise his guard, Lin Zichen unleashes a single devastating punch. The blow connects with brutal force, sending blood flying from Zhang Kai's nose. He is knocked out instantly, collapsing unconscious on the gym floor. The entire gym is stunned into silence. Coach Guo's jaw drops as he stares in disbelief, shouting that the fight was over in one punch. The rest of the martial arts team and the crowd are equally shocked, calling the outcome ridiculous, unable to process that the duel was over in a single second. The silence is broken by a roar of celebration. Shen Qinghan throws her fist in the air, ecstatically cheering for Lin Zichen's victory. The other girls, including the one with pink hair, join in, shouting about how amazing he was. Standing over his defeated opponent, Lin Zichen receives a system notification. It informs him that by defeating a rival and winning the affection of the opposite sex, he has obtained priority mating rights. More importantly, his new mission progress is now 1,000. He reflects that he has a long way to go to unlock the natural selection attribute. To speed up his progress, he turns to the remaining, terrified members of the martial arts team. With a friendly but unsettling smile, he suggests they should all spar as well. The team members stare back, their faces pale with horror. Immediately, they all start making pathetic excuses. One has cram school, another's mother is waiting for dinner, while others pretend to feel sick. Before they can flee, Zhang Kai struggles to his knees. He refuses to accept his loss, furiously accusing Lin Zichen of a sneak attack and vowing to crush him in a rematch. Coach Guo steps in, telling Zhang Kai to accept his loss like a man. The coach then wonders aloud if the punch was just a lucky shot, deciding to test the theory on another team member named Xiao Lizi. Hearing his name, a spiky-haired boy freezes in terror. Though he assumes a fighting stance, he is clearly terrified, begging Lin Zichen for mercy and not to hit his face. 10 minutes later, the results are clear. Several martial arts team members are lying unconscious on the gym floor. Lin Zichen stands over them, noting he made sure not to go too hard on them and just exchanged a few blows. However, when he checks his system again, he is disappointed. Aside from the initial victory, none of the other spars counted toward his achievement. The rival count remains at 1,000. He realizes friendly sparring isn't enough. He has to defeat rivals in an official competition. As he thinks about this, a hand claps his shoulder. Coach Guo grins manically, declaring that Lin Zichen is a true genius. He exclaims that in just over a month, the newcomer has become the team's ace. Filled with new confidence, the coach proclaims that with Lin Zichen leading, their school will crush all others and take first place at this year's regional martial arts tournament. As Coach Guo celebrates, Lin Zichen has a moment of clarity. He realizes the coach is right. The upcoming tournament is the perfect opportunity to face many official opponents at once. He becomes determined, understanding that as long as he defeats them in an official competition, each victory should count toward his progress. His thoughts are interrupted when a defeated Zhang Kai calls his name. Having regained consciousness, Zhang Kai stands, points at Lin Zichen, and formally accepts his loss with a bizarre and overly graphic declaration of submission. His strange words leave everyone, including Shen Qinghan, Coach Guo, and Lin Zichen, completely shocked and disturbed. With the duel over, the spectators and coach quickly flee, leaving a bewildered Zhang Kai alone, complaining he hadn't finished his speech. In this world, high schoolers must choose between martial arts or academics. Given the world's dangers, the martial arts class is considered the superior choice. Determined not to be left behind, Shen Qinghan decides to join the martial arts class and begins training rigorously with Lin Zichen. Their daily routine is intense. They start with a 3,000-meter run, followed by an hour of hand-to-hand combat practice. After that, they do sit-ups and push-ups to build strength. To conclude each session, Lin Zichen gives Shen Qinghan a massage to relieve her muscle tension. Of course, Lin Zichen doesn't slack on his own training. He pushes himself to the limit daily, driven by the goal of winning the tournament and unlocking the natural selection attribute as quickly as possible. 1 month later, all their hard work is about to be tested. The day of the regional martial arts tournament has arrived, and a determined Lin Zichen is ready to compete. The tournament is at the massive city gymnasium, with a huge crowd around a central fighting ring. In the waiting area, the mood is tense. Coach Guo nervously reviews the roster, complaining that their school, Shanghai High, drew a match against the strongest team, Shanghai No. 1 High. Another team member adds to the anxiety, mentioning their opponents have a fighter who can run the 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds, leaving them feeling outmatched. Sensing the team's low morale, Lin Zichen calmly raises his hand and volunteers to fight first. Though still worried, Coach Guo agrees to let his ace take the stage. As Lin Zichen walks into the arena, Shen Qinghan cheers him on from the sidelines, while Coach Guo shouts encouragement through a megaphone. Lin Zichen readies himself for the fight. His opponent, a much larger and more muscular student from Shanghai No. 1 High, steps forward. He acknowledges Lin Zichen's talent for making it to the tournament as a first year. However, his tone quickly turns mocking. He sneers that the stage isn't meant for a shorty who hasn't even hit 1.7 meters. Flexing his bicep, he promises to show Lin Zichen what a true gap in size and power feels like. The referee signals for the duel to begin. The large opponent rushes forward, unleashing a powerful punch. To his shock, Lin Zichen doesn't retreat. He effortlessly sidesteps the blow and counters with a swift punch to his opponent's chest. The impact is devastating. The force sends the massive student flying backward across the arena, knocking him out cold. The announcer stares in stunned silence before stammering a victory for Lin Zichen. On the sidelines, Shen Qinghan jumps to her feet, cheering that her Xiao Chen was amazing. The rest of the Shanghai High team erupts in celebration, mobbing their coach and shouting that Lin Zichen is insane, dismissing his opponent's strength as dead muscle. Meanwhile, on the other side, the coach for Shanghai No. 1 High is furious. He berates his defeated student for charging in blindly without using his footwork. Back in the ring, Lin Zichen receives a system notification confirming he has defeated another tournament rival, improving his ranking and bringing his elimination count to 2-1,000. He clenches his fist, satisfied that these matches are what he needs to advance. The opposing coach, determined to stop this, calls his next fighter forward, a boy named Chen Feng, and orders him to crush the first year as quickly as possible. Chen Feng calmly agrees. He steps onto the stage and assumes a ready stance, looking far more composed than the last fighter. The announcer signals for the second duel to begin. Chen Feng immediately showcases his superior technique, moving with incredible speed and launching a flurry of attacks. Lin Zichen calmly meets the assault, blocking a powerful kick with one hand. However, the force of his block sends Chen Feng spinning wildly through the air before he crashes hard onto the arena floor, unconscious. Medics rush in with a stretcher and carry Chen Feng away, stating he needs a head scan. The crowd is left bewildered. They murmur among themselves, questioning what just happened and speculating that the student from Shanghai High must be insanely lucky. Some angry spectators shout that the tournament must be rigged, demanding a refund. However, the coach of Shanghai No. 1 High knows better. Clutching his head in despair, he realizes with dawning horror that this isn't luck. The first year from Shanghai High is the real deal. Back in the waiting area, the coach has a new strategy. He calls his next fighter, a spiky-haired boy named Gao Fei, and gives him strict orders to focus entirely on defense, warning him that he cannot afford to lose. Gao Fei, however, is brimming with confidence. He calmly tells his coach not to worry, assuring him he will win. As he walks to the ring, Gao Fei internally dismisses Lin Zichen's victories. He believes his opponent isn't strong and has only won through tricks. With his superior speed, running the 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds, and greater experience, he is certain he can't lose. The crowd is buzzing. Spectators discuss Gao Fei's reputation, marveling at his speed. One person mentions his father is a gene fusion user, explaining his enhanced abilities. The consensus is that Lin Zichen's impressive run is about to end, though they acknowledge his great potential. The announcer signals for the duel to begin. Ignoring his coach's instructions, Gao Fei immediately goes on the offensive, lunging at Lin Zichen with a powerful kick. He follows up with rapid strikes, unleashing his special technique, the flowing water-shattering rock fist. His coach watches in fury, shouting at his disobedient student for attacking. Gao Fei scoffs at defense, believing a genius like him doesn't need it. Meanwhile, Lin Zichen, easily evading the blows, finds the technique interesting and decides to learn it on the spot. Gao Fei grows frustrated as he can't land a single hit. He stops out of breath and demands to know how Lin Zichen is dodging his attacks. Unfazed, Lin Zichen calmly asks if he has any other moves, taunting him. Enraged, Gao Fei unleashes another desperate barrage of punches. Seeing the same predictable moves, Lin Zichen decides the time for observation is over. He thinks, "All right then, let's end this." He effortlessly dodges the final punch and counters with a single powerful kick to Gao Fei's midsection, ending the match instantly. The crowd is once again left in stunned, speechless silence. The silence is shattered by thunderous cheers from the Shanghai High supporters. Coach Guo and Shen Qinghan are ecstatic, shouting that their Xiao Chen is a beast and celebrating his third consecutive victory. The rest of the tournament proceeds just as easily. The next few opponents are even weaker. He effortlessly defeats each one, and soon he has single-handedly wiped out all 5 fighters from the opposing team. Over the next 2 days, the story is much the same. He continues his dominant performance, taking down 2 more schools by himself. Thanks to his incredible display, he successfully leads Shanghai High to win the championship. He and his team proudly pose with their medals and trophy. However, as he checks his system, his rival count is only 16,000. He realizes with disappointment that at this rate, it will take years to unlock the natural selection attribute. Despite his slow quest progress, there is a silver lining. He didn't expect Coach Guo to be so generous, but he gets the bulk of the tournament prize money, a full 20,000 yuan. Combining this with prize money from academic competitions, he now has around 30,000 yuan. That money doesn't last long. He immediately spends it all at the supermarket on a massive supply of ghost shadow squid meat. For the next several weeks, he devours the expensive meat at every meal. After consuming 30 jin, his codex unlock progress for the ghost shadow squid reaches 33%. His intensive training and consumption of beast meat pay off. By his second year of middle school, he breaks through to the next level, advancing from ordinary Tier 3 to Tier 4. His physical abilities reach new heights. He can now effortlessly lift 1890 kilograms with one hand, jump 5.65 meters vertically, and sprint 100 meters in just 4.49 seconds. Time flies, and soon he and Shen Qinghan graduate from Shanghai's middle school division. However, when the high school entrance exam results are released, their paths seem destined to diverge. A heartbroken Shen Qinghan sits in her room, crying. She asks Lin Zichen why, after all her hard work, they can't go to the same high school anymore. He explains that while he ranked first in both liberal arts and martial arts, and her academic scores were excellent, her martial arts score wasn't high enough for the elite class at Shanghai High. As he comforts the crying Shen Qinghan, she asks what will happen now. He tells her the principal of Shanghai High is coming to his house, likely to recruit him, and asks if she will come. Feeling hopeless, she tearfully replies that it has nothing to do with her, as the principal is obviously only coming for him. Taking her hand, Lin Zichen pulls her up and leads her out of the room. He tells her not to worry. He has a plan. He reveals his one condition for staying at Shanghai High. Shen Qinghan has to be his desk mate. As promised, the principal of Shanghai High visits Lin Zichen's home. She, his mother, and Shen Qing'an discuss his future for several hours, with the principal expressing how much she wants him to stay at her school. As the meeting concludes, the principal stands to leave. As a final offer, she tells Lin Zichen that if he agrees to stay, she will grant any request he has. Taking the opportunity, Lin Zichen states his one condition. Shen Qinghan must be allowed to continue in the same class with him. The principal looks at the nervous Shen Qinghan and confirms her name. Without hesitation, she agrees. With a smile, she tells them both to report to Shanghai High together for the new school year. Overjoyed, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan thank her. With their high school future secured, Lin Zichen participates in his final junior high martial arts tournament. As expected, his overwhelming power easily leads his team to another championship. He decides to use the prize money to finally unlock the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. He was only 20% away, and the new prize money was enough to max out the progress bar. Unsure what might happen, he travels to a secluded forest outside Shanghai for safety. Deciding not to waste time, he begins devouring the life essence from the last of the squid meat. A powerful blue energy surrounds him as a system notification confirms he is absorbing a large amount of essence. His eyes widen as he feels a final surge of power, and the Codex progress bar hits 100%. A new notification announces he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex and obtained a new biological attribute, Blessing of Liquid Affinity. The ability enhances his affinity with water, allowing him to move freely and even vanish in aquatic environments. However, as the power settles, he stands in the quiet forest holding the limp squid tentacles and feels his new ability is kinda underwhelming. Still feeling underwhelmed, Lin Zichen tests his new ability in a nearby pond. He finds his Blessing of Liquid Affinity has some benefits. He can soak for long periods without his skin wrinkling, and swimming is much easier with reduced water resistance. However, there are no other noticeable effects. He sits in the water and rationalizes that since the Ghost Shadow Squid is a low-tier beast, it's fair the ability isn't very powerful. He resolves that to get better attributes, he will either have to save up for higher-grade beast meat or become strong enough to hunt powerful wild mutant beasts himself. The memory of the terrifying giant mutant rats strengthens his resolve, and he clenches his fist, determined to grow stronger. With less than a week before school begins, Lin Zichen's mother and Shen Qinghan's family decide to go on a trip. To better study his new liquid affinity, Lin Zichen suggests they go to the beach. As they stand in the ocean, Shen Qinghan shivers and complains the seawater is cold. Lin Zichen, however, feels perfectly at home. He tells her to ease into it and then dives into the water, swimming with incredible speed. As he moves, his system rewards him with stat points for swimming and diving. From the shore, a nervous Shen Qinghan calls out, asking him to teach her how to swim. Lin Zichen pops his head out of the water, suddenly remembering his childhood friend doesn't know how yet. He begins patiently teaching her the basics. Given her average athletic talent, he assumes she will struggle. However, Shen Qing'an proves him wrong. She excitedly exclaims that swimming is surprisingly easy and that she learned it right away, diving effortlessly. She swims gracefully and surfaces with a look of shock, surprised she can dive without any instruction. Lin Zichen watches in shock as a strange blue aura of water seems to emanate from her. After she surfaces, she excitedly tells him how amazing it feels. She notes that while opening one's eyes underwater usually stings, she feels no discomfort. In fact, she finds it cool and pleasant. Her words leave Lin Zichen deep in thought. He watches her swim away, finding the situation unusual. He reasons that even with a natural talent for water, there's no way she could have mastered all the skills so instantly. Her rapid learning is simply not normal. Suddenly, a realization dawns on him. He recalls her lifelong problem with bedwetting when nervous. He wonders if this weakness is actually a sign of a powerful, innate water affinity she was born with. The idea excites him. He becomes convinced she might possess some kind of special cultivation body, like a character from his parents' Xianxia novels. To test his theory, they continue diving. Her performance shocks him even more as they explore the underwater world. He notes they have been holding their breath for over 10 minutes, an incredible feat for a beginner like Shen Qinghan. As they swim, Shen Qinghan's expression suddenly changes. A strange, swirling sound begins to vibrate through the water around her. Both look up, trying to find the source. They surface abruptly, and Shen Qinghan cries out as the glowing blue water swirls around her. Later that night, as they walk along the beach, Lin Zichen asks what happened. Shivering, she explains that underwater, she kept hearing strange and creepy sounds right by her ear. He comforts her and asks what kind of sounds. She tells him she couldn't understand the language, but it was a female voice that echoed non-stop until she surfaced. To help a frightened Shen Qinghan calm down, Lin Zichen brings her back to their hotel room. Later, he searches online for information about the strange female voice, but finds no results. Unsettled and unable to sleep, he uses his restless energy to train. As he performs 1,000 weighted sit-ups, he feels a sudden surge of power. A system notification announces his hard work has paid off. He has advanced to ordinary Tier 5. Surprised but pleased, he considers his new strength. He realizes that at Tier 5, he is powerful enough to rival a fully grown giant mutant rat. A determined glint appears in his eyes as he clenches his fist, confident that tearing the beasts apart with his bare hands is no longer impossible. Eager to test his new limits, he goes to the empty beach at night. The stat boost is immense. His 100-meter dash time has dropped to a mere 3.64 seconds, and his vertical jump has increased to an incredible 6.98 meters. To test his strength, he finds a nearby car and discovers he can now lift the 1,600-kilogram vehicle with one hand. With this new progress, his life moves forward. The vacation ends, and he and Shen Qinghan begin high school at Shanghai High. On their first day, they arrive early for class duty. Two new female classmates immediately recognize him, whispering excitedly about how handsome he is and how lucky they are to be on duty with him. While he is surprised his classmates know him, something even more unexpected happens. Simply performing class duty triggers a new system quest. The achievement requires completing 1,000 cooperative tasks for a new biological attribute, social animal. As he cleans the classroom with Shen Qinghan, he wonders what this new attribute will do. Since the school year has just begun, he takes the opportunity to visit the Mammoth supermarket after school. Now that he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex, he knows it's time to choose a new target for his ability. As he browses the expensive beast meat section, his eyes lock onto a new item. In one of the refrigerated cases is the packaged head of a savage giant eagle, priced at 1998 yuan per jin. An eager grin spreads across his face as he picks up the package, making his decision. This will be his next target. The savage giant eagle is a higher-tier aberrant beast than the ghost shadow squid. It has incredibly powerful vision, 30 times stronger than a normal human's, making it a formidable hunter that can precisely capture even the fastest prey. Back in his room, Lin Zichen examines the eagle meat. He concludes that unlocking its guidebook is a worthy goal, as its enhanced vision would provide a massive combat advantage. He also notes its price of 1,998 yuan per jin makes it one of the more affordable options. He places his hand on the meat, and a blue energy surrounds him as his system confirms he has devoured a trace of the savage giant eagle's life essence, unlocking 1% of its guidebook. After some calculations, he realizes that since 1 jin of meat provides only 1% progress, he will need to spend over 200,000 yuan to fully unlock the guidebook. He understands that high school tournament prize money is much higher than in middle school. With renewed determination, he decides he must work harder in competitions to earn the money to unlock the Savage Giant Eagle's codex before his second year. With the end of summer vacation, Lin Zichen's high school life at Shanghai High begins. On the first day, the teachers introduce themselves: the martial arts and homeroom teacher, the mechanical modification teacher, the gene fusion teacher, and the wilderness survival teacher. After their introductions, they ask the students to introduce themselves. Several students go first. A girl with long purple hair, Chu Yutong, says her specialty is in the arts. She is followed by an energetic pink-haired girl, Zhong Yijia, who shares her love for anime, cosplay, and sports. Next, a boy named Peng Huoguang says he likes to play video games at home. Soon, it is Shen Qinghan's turn. Being the center of attention makes her extremely nervous. With a blushing face, she manages to say her name is Shen Qinghan, that she enjoys drawing, and asks everyone for their future guidance. Finally, it is Lin Zichen's turn. His introduction is the shortest and most direct. He simply stands and states his name, asking for everyone's support. After introductions, time passes quickly. A new female classmate with brown hair approaches Shen Qinghan, who looks surprised. The girl asks Shen Qinghan for her entrance exam score. Shen Qinghan nervously replies that she scored 709 points, and then asks the new girl, Chu Rui, for her score. Chu Rui is impressed, exclaiming that Shen Qinghan's score is more than 10 points higher than her own 698. Chu Rui then asks about the physical fitness portion, admitting she only scored 95 out of 100. This question makes Shen Qinghan extremely uncomfortable. She stammers that her score wasn't as good, internally panicking because her score of 79 was so low she almost didn't make it into the elite class and feels too embarrassed to say it out loud. Not getting the hint, the persistent Chu Rui continues to guess if Shen Qing'an scored 94 or 93. Shen Qing'an, looking down in shame, quietly tells her it was even lower. Chu Rui continues guessing scores in the low 90s, making Shen Qing'an even more flustered. Suddenly, a hand slams down on the desk between them, startling Chu Rui. It's Lin Zichen. He smoothly leans in and asks the flustered girl if he can add her on WeChat. Surprised and thrilled that a handsome boy is giving her attention, she eagerly agrees. From her seat, Shen Qing'an breathes a sigh of relief, grateful that Lin Zichen saved her from the awkward conversation. Lin Zichen then turns to another male classmate, Hey Yu, and also asks to exchange contact information. After adding them, he creates a 4-person group chat. A system notification immediately confirms he has successfully created a group, completing another cooperative task. His progress for the social animal achievement is now at 2 out of 1,000. He reflects that this quest is surprisingly easy. After creating the group chat, the 4 new friends start to get to know each other. He Yu reveals he is from the neighboring Nanyuan city and comes from a prestigious martial arts family that runs a dojo. He even proudly mentions placing 8th in the Nanyuan City Youth Martial Arts competition. Chu Rui shares that her family owns a chain of clothing stores, making her wealthy. After Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan also share their backgrounds, the 4 quickly become a close-knit group. Just as they are getting comfortable, He Yu asks the others to guess who the strongest student in their class is. Chu Rui immediately points to Lin Zichen, guessing it must be him since he was the top scorer on the entrance exam for their entire district. This shocks He Yu, who had no idea his new friend was so accomplished. However, Lin Zichen humbly suggests that being the top scorer doesn't necessarily make someone the strongest. He reveals a surprising fact. The principal had spent a lot of money to recruit 2 exceptionally powerful students from Nanyuan City for their class. He Yu then points out the 2 students. The first is a boy with blonde hair, Wang Shuojie, the 3rd-ranked student in Nanyuan City, who can run the 100-meter dash in 7.98 seconds. The second is a large, muscular boy, Lu Gang, who has immense natural strength and can easily lift a 300-kilogram barbell with one hand. Shen Xinghan and Chu Rui are both visibly impressed and intimidated. Lin Zichen, on the other hand, remains completely calm. Internally, he scoffs at their achievements, knowing he had surpassed those numbers back in elementary school. Soon, the bell rings again, and the next class is for distributing textbooks. There are 4 main subjects for the semester: martial arts, gene fusion, mechanical modification, and wilderness survival. Since Lin Zichen had already self-studied all the material, he decides to use the free time to find a secluded spot to train. As he trains, his thoughts turn to the larger threats. He remembers the dangerous rat god cult is still active. The police have only captured some lower-level heretics, but the powerful Rat King, their leader, remains at large. This grim reality fuels his determination. He clenches his fist, resolving to increase his power as quickly as possible and reach at least Tier 6, a level he believes will be strong enough to confront even the Rat King. The first practical class is Wilderness Survival. The teacher, Xu Chungbei, gathers the students in a wooded area and asks if any know how to make a fire by drilling wood. He Yu mutters, "It's a useless skill." To everyone's surprise, both Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang step forward and successfully start fires using the primitive method. The teacher is impressed and asks how they learned. Lu Gang explains he learned at a summer camp, while Wang Shuojie says he taught himself by watching videos online. After they are done, Lin Zichen easily teaches the same technique to his own small group, and they quickly master it. Later, in martial arts class, the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announces he will teach them a special breathing and cultivation technique. Once again, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang loudly declare they have already learned it, showing off for the class. Though their demonstration is a bit clumsy, they manage. Lin Zichen, who already knows these skills, decides to maintain his low profile. In this way, over a month passes uneventfully. One day in mechanical modification class, the teacher, Kai Yuanfei, announces a test to check their progress. To motivate them, he reveals cash prizes for the top 3, 888 yuan for first, 666 for second, and 333 for third. Lin Zichen's eyes light up when he hears about the prize money, realizing the first-place reward is almost enough to buy half a jin of the expensive savage giant eagle meat. With everyone motivated, the class begins the exam. Coincidentally, the gene fusion teacher, Liu Duren, has the same idea and also springs a surprise exam with the same prize structure. After the 2 difficult exams, the students are drained. He Yu collapses onto his desk, groaning. The other students complain about how difficult the questions were. One girl laments that she was hoping for a 90 but would be lucky to get a passing grade of 60. While everyone else complains, Wang Shoujie and Lu Gong begin to casually brag. Lu Gong asks Wang Shoujie how he did. Wang Shoujie confidently replies that he should score a 95, as he only struggled with the last part of the final question. Lu Gong nonchalantly agrees, stating he is in the same boat and also expects a 95. Listening to their arrogant exchange, He Yu glares at them, clenching his fists in fury and thinking about how badly he wants to punch them. The teacher announces the results of the mechanical augmentation test. He reads the scores, revealing that Guo Yunling received 52 points, while Shen Qinghan passed with 61. Shen Qinghan excitedly tells Lin Zichen she passed, and he congratulates her on her hard work. The teacher continues, announcing He Yu scored an impressive 88 points. His friends praise him, and he humbly replies he was just lucky, promising to treat them to a meal with his third-place prize of 333 yuan. Next, the teacher confirms Lu Gang and Wang Shuojie both scored 95 just as they predicted, complimenting them for being only one question away from a perfect score. Wang Shuojie confidently claims that with 10 more minutes, he could have solved the final problem, and Lu Gang agrees. Listening to them brag, He Yu is frustrated, but comforts himself with the thought that third place is still his. However, the teacher then reveals a shocking result. Despite the test's difficulty, one student achieved a perfect score, Lin Zichen, with 100 points. Wang Shuojie and Lu Gong are stunned, shouting the result is absurd. The rest of the class erupts in cheers. Even a defeated He Yu joins in, recognizing Lin Zichen is on another level. Shen Qinghan and Chu Rui celebrate his victory as the glory of Shanghai. Ignoring the praise, Lin Zichen's focus is on the prize. He raises his hand and asks Teacher Kai when the 888 yuan prize for first place will be distributed. The teacher promises to send it later, internally finding Lin Zichen's intense focus on money strange. An hour later, the gene fusion exam results are announced. The teacher, Kai Yuanfei, reads the scores. This time, the non-Yuan duo did not perform as well. Lu Gang scored 81 and Wang Shuojie 83. Though still good scores, they are clearly disappointed. In contrast, Shen Qinghan achieves an excellent 78, placing her in the top 5, and she celebrates with Chu Rui. To the shock of his classmates, Lin Zichen once again secures a perfect score, effortlessly winning another prize. This second crushing victory deals a huge blow to the confidence of He Yu, Wang Shuojie, and Lu Gang, who are left demoralized. Unable to accept their defeat, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang question how anyone could get full marks on such a difficult test, openly suggesting Lin Zichen must have known the answers in advance. The teacher, Kai Yuanfei, immediately shuts down their accusation, stating firmly that it is impossible. He explains that he personally designed every question, and the answers are not available online, making cheating impossible. The two are left speechless. Their classmates are not so kind. He Yu and Chu Rui laugh, mocking Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang for being sore losers. He Yu calls them a disgrace to Nanyuan City, and Chu Rui adds that uncultured, ugly people always cause the most trouble. After lunch, the practical exam for wilderness survival begins. The teacher, Shi Chengbei, explains the rewards are the same, with cash prizes for the top 3. The exam has 3 parts: climbing, swimming, and making fire by friction. Having been beaten in the academic tests, Wang Shuojie tells Lu Gang they must redeem themselves in the practical exams. Lu Gang agrees, and both glare at Lin Zichen, vowing to crush him and wash away their shame. The exam begins with climbing, where speed determines the winner. As expected, Lin Zichen's superior physical abilities allow him to easily dominate. He scales the rock wall with incredible speed, leaving the Nanyuan duo far behind to secure first place. The tree climbing event ends the same. Lin Zichen again takes first, while a defeated Wang Shuojie complains he couldn't even see his shadow. While Lin Zichen excels, he notes his real concern is for Shen Qinghan. As he expected, she struggles with the climbing and finishes last. However, he isn't worried, knowing her true talent is in the water and confident she will regain her confidence during the swimming segment. Next is the fire-starting segment. With his eyes on the prize money, Lin Zichen knows he must continue to crush the Nanyuan duo. He starts the task with intense focus and speed, successfully creating a fire in just 58 seconds. Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang watch in utter disbelief, wondering how he can be so fast at everything, bewildered by his insane hand speed. The final part of the wilderness survival exam was swimming. This time it was Shen Qinghan's turn to shine. Tapping into her natural affinity for water, she swam with incredible speed, easily crushing the Nanyuan duo and delivering another heavy blow to their shattered confidence. Wang Shuojie was left in disbelief, unable to understand how Shen Qinghan could suddenly exhibit such explosive power in the water, concluding he must be hallucinating. After the exam, a defeated Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang were completely silent for a long time. However, their silence only lasted through lunch. In the afternoon, the final exam for martial arts began. The teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announced it was time to test their progress with a sparring competition. The top 3 would receive prizes, motivating the class. For Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang, this reignited their hope. Filled with determination, they resolved to reclaim their pride. They reasoned this was martial arts class, where physical fitness and combat technique truly mattered. They believed if Lin Zichen was weak in martial arts, his other scores were meaningless. Before sparring, the teacher had everyone do a physical test as a warm-up, measuring their 100-meter sprint, one-hand barbell lift, and vertical jump. Lin Zichen, holding back to avoid being too flashy, still gave an incredible performance. He ran the 100-meter dash in 7.78 seconds and lifted a 330-kilogram barbell with one hand. His vertical jump was 2.18 meters, and he easily took first in all 3 events, making sure to only slightly beat the Nanyuan duo. They were once again left in utter shock. Wang Shuojie couldn't understand how Lin Zichen could be faster, while Lu Gang was baffled by how someone who didn't look muscular could be so strong. Trying to rally, Wang Shuojie reminded Lu Gang that failing the physical test didn't mean they would lose in sparring, as real combat also required technique. They convinced themselves their superior technique gave them a chance. After the test, everyone moved to the dueling area for the sparring matches. Eager to complete his survival of the fittest achievement, Lin Zichen stepped into the ring first. However, after his overwhelming display, no one dared to challenge him. Even Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang held back to observe first. Seeing the stalemate, the teacher intervened. He called out a student named Lu Wei and ordered him to spar with Lin Zichen. The two faced off, but the match was over before it began. To save time, Lin Zichen ended it instantly with a single devastating punch that sent Lu Wei flying. He then speed ran through the rest of his opponents, taking down every student in the class with the same brutal efficiency. Watching this, Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang are left in utter despair. Wang Shuojie realizes with horror that Lin Zichen is far stronger than they imagined and probably wasn't going all out during the physical test. He wonders how anyone could compete with such a monster. Just as their spirits are crushed, Hiyu suddenly leaps into the ring, shouting Lu Gang's name. He points at Lu Gang, declaring he's warmed up and at his peak, and challenges him to a fight. Eager to vent his frustration, Lu Gang readily accepts. He reasons that while he may not be confident against Lin Zichen, he can certainly defeat Hiyu and vows to flatten him in 30 seconds. With a battle cry, Hiyu rushes forward, and the two clash in a fast exchange of blows. However, the fight is decided by the clear gap in their power. Lu Gang easily catches Hiyu's kick, uses his superior strength to swing him around, and then hurls him out of the ring. Hiyu crashes hard, defeated and vomiting. Standing victoriously, Lu Gang looks down at his defeated classmate. He offers a backhanded compliment, acknowledging Hiyu's physical technique is the best in their class, but smugly concluding that he is still better. After his victory, Lu Gang turns to see Lin Zichen approaching. Lin Zichen calmly issues a challenge for them to spar. Internally, he sees this as a perfect chance to make progress on his achievement quest. Fresh off his win and brimming with confidence, Lu Gang smirks and accepts, declaring he is not afraid. Lu Gang immediately goes on the offensive with a powerful punch. However, the gap in their abilities is apparent. Lin Zichen moves with blinding speed, effortlessly dodging the attack and leaving afterimages. Before Lu Gang can register what happened, Lin Zichen counters with a swift kick. The powerful blow connects squarely with Lu Gang's back, and he is sent flying out of the ring, defeated in a single blow. With both Nanyuan duo members utterly defeated, the other students begin to taunt the last one standing. They shout at Wang Shuojie, asking if he's going to avenge his fallen bro, and telling him the pride of Nanyuan now rests entirely on his shoulders. They jeer, telling him not to chicken out. Annoyed, Wang Shuojie snaps at the crowd to shut up, claiming he was already planning to fight. He rushes into the ring to face Lin Zichen. As he stands before his overwhelmingly powerful opponent, he steels his resolve, telling himself that what is meant to come will come, and he must find a way to defeat him. Determined to win, Wang Shuojie shouts that he's going all out and rushes at Lin Zichen with a furious attack. However, his effort is futile. Lin Zichen effortlessly stops the punch with one hand and counters with a single devastating blow that sends Wang Shuojie flying upside down. He crashes hard onto the gym floor, knocked out and foaming at the mouth, defeated as easily as everyone else. With the Nanyuan duo taken care of, Lin Zishan proceeds to systematically take down the rest of the boys in the class one after another with the same effortless efficiency. After defeating all the male students, he checks his system. He notes that according to the survival of the fittest achievement rules, defeating the same person multiple times only counts once. This means his only remaining opponents in the class are the girls. He wonders if any of them will even be willing to spar with him. To his complete surprise, the girls are more than willing. A crowd of his female classmates gathers, blushing and eagerly making heart gestures, all wanting a chance to fight him. The first to volunteer is Chu Yu-tong, who excitedly raises her hand and challenges him. She leaps into the ring and attacks with surprising speed and agility. However, Lin Zichen is still on another level. He easily dodges her attack, leaving her to comment on his incredible speed. She gracefully lands, disappointed that she came so close but couldn't even grab him. Unexpectedly, after Chu Yu-tong's defeat, the other girls also volunteer to challenge him one by one. Of course, Lin Zichen holds back considerably when facing the girls. His main goal isn't to hurt them, but simply to win the official matches and complete his achievement as quickly as possible. Soon, Lin Zichen finishes sparring with all the girls in his class. While he has successfully defeated every student, he is still far from completing his achievement task. He is a bit disappointed, but his mood quickly changes when his teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, suddenly announces some good news. The teacher praises the class and tells them that as elite students, they must learn to challenge those above them. He then announces that in 1 month, their class will challenge the strongest regular class in the second year, and he expects them to be ready. Lin Zichen, who was just feeling frustrated about the lack of opponents to speed up his survival of the fittest achievement, is overjoyed. A new match has been delivered right to his door, a true blessing. After the teacher dismisses the class, a newly humbled Lu Gang approaches Lin Zichen. He admits he had underestimated the school and declares that from now on, he will consider Lin Zichen his rival for the next 3 years. Lin Zichen realizes that with the teacher's plan to constantly challenge other classes, completing his achievement within a year might not be impossible. Wang Shuojie also confronts him, vowing to wash away the humiliation of his defeat before they graduate. Lin Zichen, however, is more focused on the practical benefits. He calculates that he has earned over 3,000 yuan from the exam prizes alone. This excites him, as he can now use this money to buy more beast meat. He clenches his fist, completely ignoring the non-yuan duo, who are left fuming at his arrogant dismissal. That night, back in his room, he considers his financial situation. Although he earned some money from the rewards, it is still far from enough to buy all the beast meat he needs. To earn more money, he decides to follow in his parents' footsteps and registers as a web novel author, beginning his writing journey. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, his writing is exceptional. The next morning, he finds a contract invitation from the Yuiwen platform in his messages. After signing the contract, a piece of news from that very day catches his eye. The report is about a terrifying incident just 2 hours ago. A giant mutant rat had attacked a frozen meat-cold storage facility on the outskirts of the city. The news report details the horrific attack. The mutant rat was over 5 meters long and so powerful that it bit a responding cyborg in half. In a final, desperate act, the captured cyborg activated its hidden backup energy core to self-destruct, taking the enemy with it. The resulting explosion was massive, blowing the giant mutant rat to pieces on the spot. Reading the news, Lin Zichen is horrified. He stares at an image of a monstrous rat, wondering with growing dread how many more of these giant mutant rats are hidden in Shanghai City. He also questions where such enormous creatures could possibly be hiding. The day of the sparring session against the strongest regular class of the second year arrives, and the students gather at the Shanghai High Gymnasium. Before the match, the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, holds a strategy meeting with his top fighters. He warns them that while their top fighters are strong, the opposing class is stronger overall and will likely use defensive tactics to wear them down. He orders them to finish their fights as quickly as possible. The moment the meeting is over, Lin Zichen rushes towards the ring, eager to defeat as many new opponents as possible to complete his survival of the fittest achievement. He volunteers to go first. His opponent, a tall girl with long blonde hair from the second-year class, steps into the ring. Seeing who she's up against, she immediately complains to her teacher, pointing out that the elite class has sent their strongest fighter out first. She claims she is the weakest student in her own class, and questions how she is supposed to fight him. Hearing this, teacher Yao Yuanfeng storms over to the opposing teacher, an older man he calls Brother Feng. He angrily accuses him of breaking the unspoken rules of class sparring, which dictate that the weakest students should fight first. He demands to know why the other teacher sent his strongest student to fight in the first match. To settle the dispute, Teacher Yao orders Lin Zichen down from the stage, telling him he can go later and to let the weaker students go first. Lin Zichen reluctantly agrees and steps down. The teacher then points to Zhong Yijia and tells her to go first, but she is caught off guard and protests that she isn't ready. Seeing an opportunity, Shen Qinghan steps forward. She volunteers to fight, telling Teacher Yao that since she is the weakest, she should be the one to go first. Shen Qinghan nervously enters the ring to face the tall blonde girl, clearly intimidated. From the sidelines, her classmates, including Chu Rui and He Yu, begin to cheer loudly, shouting encouragement for their friend, Han Han. However, the sudden pressure only makes Shen Qinghan even more nervous. The match begins, and the blonde girl immediately attacks with a powerful punch, which Shen Qinghan manages to block. Despite being outmatched, Shen Qinghan is determined. She knows she can't win, but resolves to hold on for as long as possible, adopting a purely defensive strategy to drain her opponent's stamina. Her plan proves surprisingly effective. 3 minutes later, the blonde girl is breathing heavily, surprised by Shen Qinghan's endurance. She realizes that if the fight continues, she will run out of stamina and decides she must finish the match quickly. She rushes forward with a final decisive punch. The blow lands, and Shen Qinghan is knocked to the ground, defeated. As she gets back on her feet, she is visibly embarrassed. The teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, praises her performance. He gives her a thumbs up, telling her she did great and that her defensive strategy was very smart. Lin Zichen also comforts her, patting her head gently. He tells her she did well, lasting over 3 minutes against a senior with an extra year of training, and that she has made big progress. Reassured, Shen Qinghan looks up at him with a happy smile. Following Shen Qinghan's defeat, another female classmate with brown hair from the elite class steps into the ring. Seeing that her senior opponent is running out of stamina after the previous match, she sees an opportunity and rushes in to attack. She throws a powerful kick, but the more experienced senior easily dodges the blow and counters with a swift punch to the face. The brown-haired girl is quickly overpowered and pinned to the ground, where she cries out in pain and is forced to surrender. Standing over her defeated opponent, the senior mockingly asks if she was looking down on the regular class by charging in so recklessly. She continues to taunt the girl, telling her that while she may not have her talent, she has trained for a whole year longer. She dismisses her, telling her to come back and fight again after she's trained for another year. Just then, Chu Rui steps forward. Filled with determination, she declares that she will avenge Shen Qinghan and crush the senior. Chu Rui proves to be a formidable fighter. She easily defeats her senior opponent with a single, powerful punch. From the sidelines, Shen Qinghan cheers enthusiastically, calling out how amazing Chu Rui was. Lin Zichen tells Shen Qinghan that she was amazing too, explaining that Chu Rui's victory was easy only because Shen Qinghan had drained the senior's stamina first. Shen Qinghan smiles happily. 2 hours later, the sparring session continues, and the elite class has evened the score. Teacher Yao Yuanfeng approaches the second-year teacher, Brother Feng, and taunts him, pointing out that his class only has 4 fighters left and that he is confident his class will win the bet. However, he then turns to his students and warns them not to get complacent. He declares that the true strength of their class lies with their 4 top fighters, Lin Zichen, Wang Shuojie, Lu Gong, and He Yu. The real showdown is just beginning. Following his teacher's declaration, He Yu is ordered to go up next. He cracks his knuckles with a determined look and enters the ring with a dramatic, ground-pounding pose. He strikes a fighting stance and theatrically asks his senior opponent if he is prepared to face his fists, which he claims are thirsty for battle. The senior, a boy with brown hair, smirks and tells He Yu not to be so childish and overly dramatic. Annoyed, He Yu immediately attacks with a swift kick, sending the senior crashing to the ground in defeat. Standing over his fallen opponent, He Yu mocks him, questioning where he got the confidence to act so tough with such a low skill level and calling him trash. Just as He Yu celebrates his victory, another, more formidable senior with purple-tinged hair stomps into the ring. He glares at He Yu, calling him arrogant for his taunts. The senior immediately lunges with a powerful punch, vowing to teach his junior opponent some intensity. To the senior's shock, He Yu moves with incredible speed, effortlessly dodging the attack. He Yu then counters with a powerful kick that sends the senior flying, knocking him out. Seeing his impressive victory, Chu Rui and Shen Qinghan erupt in cheers, shouting encouragement for He Yu. Fueled by his success, He Yu goes on an incredible winning streak, defeating several more opponents in quick succession. After taking down 5 consecutive fighters, He Yu stands exhausted, breathing heavily. Despite his fatigue, he puts on a brave face and defiantly shouts for the next opponent, boasting he can still take on 10 more. However, it's clear he is running out of stamina. His impressive run ends when he is defeated by his sixth opponent. With He Yu eliminated, the situation looks dire for the elite class. They are now down to their last 3 fighters, while the second-year class still has 13 members remaining. With He Yu defeated, Wang Shuojie is next. He unleashes his full power, going on an incredible winning streak and single-handedly defeating 10 opponents in a flurry of furious kicks and punches. However, the long series of battles takes its toll. During his 11th match, Wang Shuojie finally runs out of stamina and is defeated. Following him is Lu Gang, who quickly dispatches 2 more of the opposing team's top fighters in less than 10 minutes. With their opponents now down to their last fighter, teacher Yao Yuanfeng smugly suggests that the second-year teacher, Brother Feng, should just surrender. Brother Feng, however, remains unfazed. He smirks and calls forth his final student, Wang Jinhei, telling him it is his turn. A new challenger steps forward, an enormous, overweight student who towers over Lu Gang. Despite his opponent's intimidating size, Lu Gang is not impressed. Dismissing him as just a slightly larger fatty, he rushes into attack, confident he can beat him. He lands a powerful punch on Wang Jinhei's massive belly, but to his shock, the blow has no effect. He feels as if he just punched solid rubber. He tries again, unleashing a rapid barrage of punches, but all his attacks are harmlessly absorbed by his opponent's thick layer of fat. Soon, Lu Gang is left panting and exhausted, realizing his attacks are useless. His opponent, who has not moved an inch, looks down at him with a calm expression. He asks if Lu Gang is finished, because now it is his turn. Before Lu Gang can react, Wang Jinhei grabs him by the neck with incredible strength. With a single, effortless motion, he throws Lu Gang out of the ring, securing the victory and leaving the elite class with only 1 fighter remaining. Stunned by such a powerful fighter, teacher Yao Yuanfeng exclaims that he doesn't remember the second-year class having such a strong student. The opposing teacher, Brother Feng, smirks and explains that Wang Jinhei is a new transfer student who just arrived this semester. He then smugly reminds teacher Yao about their bet, telling him it looks like he is going to lose and will have to buy dinner for the entire opposing class. Realizing he has been tricked by his rival's secret weapon, teacher Yao clenches his fist in frustration, worried that not even Lin Zichen can defeat this monster. Despite his doubts, he puts on a brave face for his last student. He places a hand on Lin Zichen's shoulder and tells him it's his turn, encouraging him to just do his best and not worry too much about winning, as the experience will be valuable. Lin Zichen simply smiles and reassures his teacher that he will win, leaving the man speechless. As Lin Zichen steps into the ring, Wang Jinhei looks down at him, unimpressed. He dismisses his opponent as looking rather weak to be his class's final ace. From the sidelines, Shen Qinghan, Chu Rui, and the other girls from the elite class shout insults at Wang Jinhei, calling him an arrogant fatty and cheering for Lin Zichen to teach the dead pig a lesson. Annoyed by the taunts, Wang Jinhei decides to offer a handicap. He tells Lin Zichen he will stand still and allow him 10 free hits. He explains that he doesn't want Lin Zichen and his little fangirls to complain later that he was just bullying a smaller opponent. Lin Zichen happily accepts the offer. Wang Jinhei tells him to come at him with his full power. Without hesitation, Lin Zichen unleashes a single, devastating punch to his opponent's massive stomach. The force of the blow is so immense that it sends the enormous Wang Jinhei spinning through the air before he crashes hard onto the floor, knocked out cold. Both classes are left in stunned silence, which is quickly broken by a massive, tearful cheer from the elite class as they celebrate Lin Zichen's incredible victory. A few moments later, Wang Jinhei slowly begins to regain consciousness, completely disoriented. He groggily wonders where he is and what just happened, muttering that the outcome was completely illogical and unscientific. After Lin Zichen's victory, the second-year teacher approaches Yao Yuanfeng, the elite class's teacher. He remarks on how powerful Lin Zichen was, comparing his one-punch victory over Wang Jinhei to a former prodigy named Wu Tiancheng. Yao Yuanfeng replies that while Lin Zichen is strong, he isn't at Wu Tiancheng's level yet, explaining that Wu Tiancheng was a monster who terrified the principal as a first year. Overhearing the name, Lin Zichen walks over and asks his teachers who Wu Tiancheng is. Yao Yuanfeng excitedly explains that Wu Tiancheng was a legendary student from a few years ago. As a first year, he single-handedly defeated the entire third-year elite class, shocking the school leaders. The teacher continues by listing Wu Tiancheng's incredible stats as a first year, a 100-meter dash in 6.12 seconds, a 3.96-meter vertical jump, and a 650-kilogram one-handed barbell lift. He asks Lin Zichen if he is impressed. Lin Zichen smiles nervously and admits he is a little impressed. However, he internally thinks Wu Tiancheng's feats were only on par with the strength he possessed during his 6th grade summer vacation. That night, the class celebrates their victory at a restaurant. Teacher Yao Yuanfeng holds up a soda for a toast. He joyfully announces that because Lin Zichen secured their win, the second-year teacher had to honor their bet and pay for everyone's feast. The entire class raises their glasses, cheering for Lin Zichen's performance. During dinner, Lin Zichen is surrounded by his classmates, including He Yu and Chu Rui. Now famous in school, they are all eager to know his training secrets and add him on WeChat. Lin Zichen finds this new attention a bit strange. Amidst the chaos, he observes that Shen Qinghan hasn't changed. Worried he won't be able to eat, she quietly puts food on his plate. During the celebration, Shen Qinghan suddenly gets a shocked expression. Looking flustered, she quickly tells Lin Zichen she needs to go to the restroom and rushes away. As she leaves, Lin Zichen notes that while some things change, her urge to pee when nervous or excited has remained the same. In the restroom, 2 of their female classmates are gossiping. One complains about how Shen Qinghan fawns over Lin Zichen like a maid, always pouring his drinks and peeling his shrimp. The other agrees, questioning how someone with Shen Qinghan's lack of strength could have gotten into the elite class if not for being his sycophant. She cruelly adds that their relationship won't last, as the difference in their abilities is destined to drive them apart. Unseen, Shen Qinghan overhears their entire conversation and is visibly hurt. However, instead of hiding, she confronts them. With newfound determination, she firmly tells the startled girls that she is not a sycophant, she is his childhood friend. Later that evening, as they walk home, Lin Zichen notices she seems dejected and asks if something is wrong. Looking down sadly, Shen Qinghan confides in him. She explains her mother always said she would grow out of wetting her pants. However, she reveals with frustration that even now, she still has to wear diapers to bed every night. Looking up at him, she says she feels disabled, like she can't even control her own bladder. Lin Zichen looks at a distraught Shen Qinghan and firmly tells her she is not disabled. He gently places his hands on her shoulders to comfort her, explaining that her inability to control her bladder is actually a superpower that hasn't fully developed yet. Shen Qinghan looks up with wide, hopeful eyes, questioning if it's really a superpower. Lin Zichen confirms it, telling her that her natural talent in the water is a manifestation of this power. Intrigued, Shen Qinghan asks if his own amazing abilities are also because he has a superpower. Lin Zichen confidently replies that yes, just like her, he also has a superpower. Excited by the idea, Shen Qinghan wonders what kind of power she might have. Lin Zichen reassures her it will definitely be a very powerful one. However, their path is blocked. A special team in protective gear is cordoning off a building, and an officer with a megaphone instructs the public to stay back while they exterminate rats. Their attention is drawn to the chaos inside. A man in an apron frantically swings a broom at a swarm of large rats, trying to fend off the exterminators. He screams at the officers to stop, pleading with them not to kill his brothers. His face twists in agony and rage as he continues to scream. Consumed by fury, the man charges at the officers, yelling that he will fight them to the death. Watching the scene, Shen Qinghan asks Lin Zichen if the man has gone crazy. Lin Zichen agrees, suggesting he might be mentally ill, though he finds the situation pitiful. He tells her that's just how some people are and that they should go home. Later that night, at Lin Zichen's house, he and his parents are watching a troubling news report. The anchor announces that a young female teacher went missing last week and is still not found. His mother, Zhang Wangshan, expresses her alarm, noting this is the 4th young woman to disappear this month. His father, Lin Yansheng, corrects her, stating it is the 5th. The report continues, showing photos of the missing women, all young and attractive. It issues a public warning for young women to avoid going out alone at night. Worried, Zhang Wangshan tells her son he must not let Shen Qinghan go anywhere by herself. Lin Zichen smiles and promises to look after her. Meanwhile, at a public security office in Shanghai City, the man from the market has been taken into custody. A doctor in a lab coat is speaking with a police officer. The officer asks for the doctor's opinion, wondering if the man is mentally ill. The doctor replies he isn't certain, explaining that he has tried to communicate with the suspect, but the man has remained completely silent. The officer finds this strange, saying the man was screaming non-stop at the market earlier. Suddenly, the officer's eyes widen with a terrifying realization. Both he and the doctor whip their heads around to look at the man, who is now hunched over, surrounded by a dark, menacing aura. Before their horrified eyes, the man begins to transform, mutating into a monstrous, giant, aberrant rat. As the creature grows, the terrified officer screams into his radio, frantically calling for backup and requesting a cyborg team, yelling that the person in the interrogation room is turning into a giant, aberrant beast. The giant, aberrant rat rampages. A police squad opens fire, but the bullets barely slow it down. As the officers retreat, a female officer reports that headquarters confirmed all cyborgs are deployed on other missions. The director adds grimly that support won't arrive for 10 minutes and their ammunition won't last that long. Realizing they can't fight it head-on, the director orders his team to their car. Their new plan is to lure the monster into the suburbs to buy time. The female officer jumps into a police van and starts the engine, while another officer braces himself inside. They speed through the city with the giant rat in hot pursuit, leaping between buildings. The female officer urges them to go faster to give the cyborgs more time. The van races up a mountain road and into a tunnel, but the beast is relentless. It closes the distance with a terrifying roar, its massive tooth-filled maw open. The monster slams into the back of the van, causing it to lose control, flip violently through the air, and crash. Inside the overturned van, the female officer hangs upside down, injured. With a look of despair, she thinks that in the end, they still couldn't make it. Just as the giant aberrant rat roars in triumph over the wrecked van, a massive explosion engulfs it. Help has arrived. A female cyborg with short purple hair and sleek armor. Hovering in the air, she locks on and unleashes a barrage of powerful purple missiles. The projectiles slam into the monster, creating a series of fiery explosions as she gives the command to kill. After the smoke clears, the cyborg lands on the crater-filled road. She finds a large tunnel and realizes the rat escaped by digging its way out, noting the beasts seem to be getting smarter. However, she sees shredded flesh and blood on the ground and concludes the creature is seriously injured and couldn't have gotten far. She decides she has a good chance to track it down. The scene shifts to the city skyline at 3 a.m. In his room, Lin Zichen is at his computer, not training, but writing. He reflects on his progress as a web novel author. He has written daily for over half a month, and his novel is now nearly 200,000 words. More importantly, his paid income has already surpassed 10,000 won. He thinks about the novel's future potential, noting it is still in the new book period. He eagerly wonders how much money he will make once it is officially launched. Too excited about his novel's income to sleep, Lin Zichen decides to train. He finds a deserted, unsurveilled alley to test his recent efforts. As he practices, he is pleased with his progress. His 100-meter sprint time has dropped to an incredible 3.43 seconds, and his vertical jump has reached 7.22 meters. He feels that if he continues improving at this rate, he will eventually achieve a saintly body. His training is interrupted by an unsettling gnawing sound. He turns and sees a shadowy figure hunched in a dark corner. The figure is a grotesque, rat-like creature, a mouseman. It is chewing on a human arm. Noticing Lin Zichen, the creature begs for its life, pleading for forgiveness and explaining it was just too hungry. It strangely promises that once full, it will come and pay its respects every year. Lin Zichen stares in horror, recognizing the creature as a mouseman. He immediately connects this sight to the news report about the giant mutant rat that escaped. He wonders with dawning dread if this creature is that same beast, now in a more humanoid, but no less monstrous form. Realizing the extreme danger, Lin Zichen decides he must inform the police. However, as he turns to leave, the mouseman panics, thinking he is its next meal. It stammers that it doesn't have to eat him and can go find others to devour instead. Before Lin Zichen can react, the creature springs into action. It leaps off the alley walls with blinding speed, ricocheting from side to side in a series of lightning-fast jumps. The mouseman lunges at him, screaming it wants to eat human meat as hunger overrides its fear. The attack is so fast that Lin Zichen realizes there is no time to dodge. With no other option, he faces the monster head-on. As the creature closes in, Lin Zichen meets its charge with a single, devastating kick to its jaw. The impact sends the mouseman spinning through the air before it crashes hard to the ground. The beast struggles to its feet, clutching its bleeding chest. It stares at Lin Zichen in disbelief, wondering how a weak-looking student could possess such overwhelming strength. Stunned and injured, the mouseman stares back at Lin Zichen, shocked by his unexpected power. Before it can recover, a rock suddenly flies through the air and slams into its head. Seizing the advantage, Lin Zichen gives the monster no chance to retaliate. He unleashes a furious storm of rocks, throwing them with incredible speed and precision. The mouseman is completely overwhelmed by the relentless assault, unable to defend itself as the rocks pummel its body. After a few moments, the onslaught stops. Lin Zichen stands at the end of the alley, breathing heavily. He watches the spot where the creature fell, noticing it is no longer moving. He approaches cautiously and finds his attack was more devastating than he imagined. The mouse man is obliterated, reduced to a steaming pile of skeletal remains. Wondering if the creature was truly dead, Lin Zichen touches the pile of bones. A surge of blue energy flows into him, and a system notification confirms he has devoured a trace of the giant mutant rat's life source, increasing his codex progress to 7%. He is disappointed to only absorb 2% this time, compared to the 5% from the scorched corpse. He theorizes the difference is due to the varying amount of Rat King gene each heretic had consumed. Realizing it was nearly morning and unsafe to stay, he heads home. Moments after he leaves, the purple-haired female cyborg lands in the empty alley. She stands over the steaming bones, wondering who could have killed the Rat Man. The scene shifts to a dark building where a sinister ritual is happening. A hooded cultist carries an unconscious woman to a large, glowing red summoning circle. He places her in the center and kneels, offering her to his Lord Rat God to enjoy. From the darkness, menacing, multi-lensed red eyes glare back. A deep, angry voice questions why there is only one woman, accusing the cultist of trying to starve it. The voice complains the offering isn't even a mouthful and threatens to make the cultist part of the sacrifice. The cultist prostrates himself in terror, desperately begging to explain. Still on the floor, the terrified cultist explains that young women have become cautious lately, rarely going out at night and always traveling in groups, making them hard to capture. The massive, shadowy rat god looms over him, its deep voice commanding that if women are too difficult, he should catch young men instead. The cultist immediately agrees. Suddenly, a large, bloody chunk of raw meat is thrown onto the floor. The cultist greedily grabs it and begins to devour it raw, thanking his Lord Rat God for the blessing. As he eats, the ritual reaches its gruesome climax. Massive red tentacles emerge from the summoning circle, wrapping around the unconscious woman and lifting her into the air. The monstrous, multi-eyed maw of the rat god opens wide and devours her whole. Sounds of chewing and crunching echo through the building. After its meal, the Lord Rat God gives one final, chilling order. It tells the cultist not to capture ordinary people next time, complaining their meat is too bitter. The entity declares it wants to eat nobles who live in luxury, believing their meat will be more tender. To help Shen Qinghan improve her martial arts grades, Lin Zichen holds special training sessions with her at her house. During one session, he acts as her personal coach, correcting her form. He adjusts her arm, stance, and shoulders, explaining how to generate more power and maintain better balance. Once her posture is corrected, he tells her to attack him with her full strength. She lunges at him with a determined punch. Lin Zichen easily catches her fist, praising her for the precise angle and improved power. He also catches her follow-up kick, pointing out a flaw in her form and demonstrating the correct technique by physically moving her leg into the proper position. After the intense session, an exhausted and sweaty Shen Qinghan collapses onto the floor. She catches her breath, telling him that even though she is exhausted, she can feel her martial arts strength has genuinely improved. Still kneeling on the floor, a motivated Shen Qinghan tells Lin Zichen that training 3 times a week isn't enough and asks if they can do it every day. Lin Zichen tells her that isn't necessary, explaining her body couldn't handle a daily high-intensity regimen. Shen Qinghan agrees and decides to stick with their current schedule. Just then, Lin Zichen's phone buzzes. As he takes it out, Shen Qinghan leans in curiously, asking if it's a special news report. He looks at the screen and sees 2 major headlines. The first announces that the Jishin Corporation will provide free treatment for former mechanical prodigy girls left disabled by early mechanical modifications. The second, more shocking report reveals a genius from Beijing University has successfully fused with the 1,000-threaded spider beast gene, breaking the record for the youngest person to undergo a dual gene fusion. Lin Zichen's eyes widen as he reads the second story, immediately realizing this genius must be the same prodigy from the capital he has been competing with for years. Most people cannot undergo gene fusion until adulthood, as a younger body can't withstand the backlash from beast genes and risks severe mutation. However, this prodigy has now successfully undergone a second gene fusion at the young age of 18. Lin Zichen is left to ponder the prodigy's incredible physical talent and wonder if gene fusion is indeed the best path to power. At his house, Lin Zichen is busy with his new career as a web novel author. Thanks to his incredible writing speed, his novel is an instant hit. The comment section is filled with readers amazed by his output, with one calling him a tentacle monster for posting 50,000 words on the first day. Lin Zichen reflects that with his use in advance and celestial root of wisdom attributes, a month of practice allows him to type at 10,000 words per hour. This efficiency means writing takes only about an hour a day, leaving him plenty of time for training. His father, Lin Yansheng, enters and praises his success. He estimates that if Lin Zichen maintains a stable plot and a 10,000-word daily pace, he could earn around 50,000 wen in his first month. He adds that once the novel's word count grows, making 100,000 wen a month would not be a problem. Lin Zichen is thrilled. With an income of 50 to 100,000 wen a month, he will no longer have to worry about funding his quest to unlock the exotic beast codex. He sets a firm goal. He will use his first 2 months' fees to finally unlock the Savage Giant Eagle codex. The scene shifts to his martial arts class, where the teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, announces a sparring session to assess progress. Lin Zichen's overwhelming power is on full display. He completely crushes the field, effortlessly defeating every opponent with powerful kicks and punches. No one lands a single hit on him. After the session, his teacher presents him with his prize money. Lin Zichen reflects on the successful day, pleased that he not only earned another 888 yuan, but also gained crucial experience points toward his survival of the fittest achievement. While Lin Zichen dominated, Shen Qinghan's results were not as stellar. As usual, she ranked last. Her friend Chu Rui tries to comfort the dejected girl. However, her training with Lin Zichen has clearly paid off. She now has the ability to fight back. A flashback shows her previous match against Wen Yuntong, the second worst student in the class, where she was defeated in under 3 seconds. This time, Shen Qinghan held her ground for nearly 3 minutes. More impressively, she actively traded blows, landing several punches and kicks. Her martial arts teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, was very impressed by her progress. He praised her hard work and encouraged her to keep it up. With the sparring session concluded, the teacher gathered the class and made a new announcement. He declared that in 1 month, their class would challenge the elite class of the second years, setting an ambitious goal for them to take down every student except for their top 3 fighters. The class roared back in confident agreement. The teacher was pleased with their fighting spirit. A month passes quickly. Lin Zichen's web novel has been a massive success, and he checks his bank account to see a balance of 89,000 wen. With his new funds, he immediately heads to the supermarket to finally buy the beast meat he needs. He tells the female employee at the counter he would like to purchase some savage giant eagle meat. The employee informs him of a special promotion. If he buys 100 jin all at once, he will receive a 5% discount. After a moment of thought, Lin Zichen decides to hold off on the purchase for now. He concludes it would be more strategic to wait until he has saved up enough to buy all 100 jin at once to take advantage of the discount, figuring he will likely have enough by the following month. The next day at school, Shen Qinghan excitedly tells Lin Zichen the cafeteria has a new stir-fry counter, and she has heard the chef's dishes are delicious. He agrees to go with her. They arrive at the counter, where several chefs are busy, and both are impressed by the amazing aroma. After getting their food, they sit down at a table. Lin Zichen comments that it was a good thing they arrived early, as a long line has already formed. Their meal is interrupted by a loud argument in the line. One student accuses another of cutting, but the second claims his desk mate was saving his spot. The argument escalates, with the first student insisting saving a spot is still cutting, and the second becoming defiant. Shen Qinghan recognizes one of the voices and points out to Lin Zichen that their friend, He Yu, is the one arguing. She asks if they should check on him. Lin Zichen glances over and calmly tells her it probably isn't necessary, observing that He Yu has an aggressive presence and seems to have already scared the other guy off. Lin Zichen's assumption is incorrect. The student He Yu was arguing with stands his ground, looking down at He Yu with a condescending expression and calling him a punk. He Yu finds himself surrounded as the student is joined by his friends. The leader of the group asks He Yu what his deal is. One of the other bullies smugly states they have no deal. They are simply cutting in line. Enraged, He Yu yells at them to get to the back of the line. He is shocked by their audacity and realizes he is outnumbered. Despite this, He Yu tries to hold them back, spreading his arms to block them. He wonders why no one in the crowded cafeteria is stepping in. From their table, Shen Qinghan watches with concern, pointing out to Lin Zichen that their friend He Yu is being bullied. Just as the bullies are about to push past He Yu, a hand clamps down on the leader's shoulder. It is Lin Zichen, his face shadowed and intimidating. He calmly tells the student to please line up properly. The bully turns around and confronts Lin Ziken with a smirk, defiantly asking what he can possibly do about it if he refuses. Instead of escalating the fight physically, Lin Ziken responds with a sly grin. He pulls out his phone and coolly informs the bully that he will report him. The bully leader scoffs at the threat, calling reporting shameful. With He-yu smirking beside him, Lin Zichen coolly retorts that he finds cutting in line even more shameful. Unwilling to be reported, the group of bullies gives up and walks away in frustration. The scene shifts to a luxurious villa in a wealthy district of Shanghai City, where the rat god cult is holding a secret meeting. Their leader, a man in a black hooded robe, sits on a throne-like chair and addresses his followers. He announces that one of their members, Sha Qiang, is dead, explaining that he went crazy at the market and was killed after provoking the security squad. Another cultist mutters that it is good riddance. The leader then introduces a new young man who will be taking Sha Qiang's place. He relays a new, chilling order from their Lord Rat God. From now on, they must only capture and sacrifice noble elites, as their god finds ordinary people to be too bitter. This new directive causes concern. Two members speak up, arguing that capturing nobles is too risky. They reason that while a missing ordinary person might be overlooked, a missing noble would cause serious trouble. The cult leader suggests they target the sons of rich but powerless merchants to lower the risk. He then turns his attention back to the newcomer. He instructs him that, as he is new, he should not go after nobles yet. Instead, he is to practice by capturing a handsome young man as a sacrifice to one of the rat god's subordinates. The newcomer, his face hidden in the shadows of his hood, confidently accepts the mission, promising he will not just find any handsome man, but will offer the most handsome man in the entire city to the divine child. In the classroom, He-yu is still fuming about the cafeteria. He tells Lin Zichen he investigated the students who cut in line and discovered they are from Class 3 of the second year, the same top honors class they are scheduled to challenge. He-yu can't believe students from an elite class could be so rude. Leaning against the lockers, Lin Zichen looks at his phone and remarks that good grades don't mean a person has good manners. His expression shifts as a news alert catches his eye. He reads that another wealthy heir has gone missing, the fifth recently. Knowing the kidnappers haven't asked for ransom and remembering the rat god cult's order to capture nobles, Lin Zichen grimly concludes the cult is behind these disappearances. The day of the competition arrives, and students gather in a large gym with 2 fighting rings. Tension between the classes is high, as the students who bullied He-yu glare at him, and He-yu makes a defiant gesture in return. After both classes warm up, the sparring matches begin. Just as she did last time, Shen Qinghan takes the first fight. Her opponent, a senior from the honors class, immediately attacks with a fierce kick. Shen Qinghan blocks the strike, but the senior's power is too great. Her defense is broken, and she is knocked to the ground, defeated. The senior is formidable, as other first-year girls, including Chu Rui, are also swiftly defeated one by one without landing a single hit. The first year's losing streak is broken when a muscular, short-haired girl defeats the senior with a powerful kick. However, this victory is short-lived. The next senior, a girl with long red hair, immediately seizes control. She is an overwhelming opponent, defeating 9 first-year students in a row in less than 10 minutes, including 3 boys. The first-year class is now down to its last 4 fighters: Lin Zichen, Wang Xiujie, Lu Gang, and He-yu. The situation is bleak, as the second-year honors class has only lost 5 students, all girls. A staggering 36 of their students, none of them boys, have yet to fight. Their teacher, Yao Yuanfeng, clenches his fist, feeling the gap in strength is hopeless. With limited options, Yao Yuanfeng tells He-yu it is his turn, asking if he can take out the 6 remaining girls on the opposing team. He-yu confidently agrees, declaring it will be easy, particularly motivated by fighting more attractive female seniors. True to his word, He-yu handles the matches with ease and successfully knocks all 6 remaining girls out of the ring. With the female fighters defeated, the second-year class's first male student enters the ring with a threatening stomp. He strikes a menacing pose and asks He-yu if he is ready to die. He-yu retorts that his opponent has no manners. Recognizing the student as a bully from the cafeteria, He-yu believes he's a pushover and sees a perfect chance for revenge. He-yu's confidence is misplaced as the bully rushes him with surprising speed. Before He-yu can react, the senior lands a powerful punch to his stomach. He-yu collapses to his knees, stunned. The bully taunts him for being weak and tells him to admit defeat. Enraged, He-yu struggles to his feet and throws a punch, but his opponent easily dodges and counters with a swift kick that sends He-yu flying out of the ring, defeated. Lying on the ground, He-yu realizes with pain that his opponent's strength is far from the lowest among the boys, and curses himself for letting his guard down. Having defeated Yu, the senior bully turns to Lin Zichen, who is standing by the ring. He mockingly asks if Lin Zichen still wants to medal and challenges him to a fight. Lin Zichen gracefully leaps into the ring, internally noting that he was hoping for this chance. His classmates erupt in cheers, shouting for their brother Chen to crush his opponent and avenge Yu for his shameful behavior. The match begins, and the bully, Yue, rushes at Lin Zichen with a high kick. Lin Zichen, however, is unfazed. He effortlessly blocks the kick with one hand, then grabs Yue's leg and slams him headfirst into the ring floor with incredible force. The impact knocks Yue out cold. Lin Zichen stands over him for a moment before casually kicking his unconscious body out of the ring. The second-year students are in stunned disbelief. One points out that Yue is one of the top 5 strongest fighters in their class, yet he was taken out instantly. They can't comprehend how a junior could be so powerful. Watching from the sidelines, their teacher Yao Yuanfeng concludes that Lin Zichen must be hiding a great deal of his true power. Lu Gong and Wang Shuojie are equally horrified, wondering if he is even human. Lin Zichen turns to the remaining second-year male students and calmly asks who's next. Their faces contort in fear, terrified by the display. 30 minutes later, the outcome is decided. All 29 remaining students from the second-year class lie defeated. Standing over the last opponent, Lin Zichen wonders about his progress toward his survival of the fittest achievement. A system notification informs him his total count of opponents eliminated is now 119 out of 1,000. He looks at the number with disappointment, realizing the progress is far too slow. He reflects that in every class sparring session, he is always the last to fight, and he decides this slow pace cannot continue. Concluding his strength has far surpassed the high school level, he sees no reason to follow their rules anymore and resolves to make the rules himself. The following Monday, a shocked shout is heard from the principal's office. Inside, the principal of Shanghai High stares at Lin Zichen in disbelief, asking if he truly wants to hold a personal challenge match with rewards. Lin Zichen confirms his request, boldly stating that he wants to challenge the entire school. In her office, the principal of Shanghai High presses her hand to her forehead, bewildered. She asks Lin Zichen if he is serious about challenging the entire student body as a first year. He confirms his intentions and asks her to come to the gym, promising to prove he has the necessary strength. Later, they arrive at the empty gym. The principal crosses her arms and asks why he brought her there so late. As he removes his school jacket, revealing his muscular build, he confidently tells her he is there to show his true power. The principal, flustered, momentarily misinterprets his intentions and tries to stop him. However, Lin Zichen walks over to a heavy barbell and grips it. To her astonishment, he lifts the massive 700-kilogram barbell into the air with one hand, holding it effortlessly. The principal stands frozen in shock. It dawns on her what he meant by showing his power. She realizes his strength already surpasses that of the school's most legendary student, Wu Tiancheng, during his first year. Completely convinced, the principal gives Lin Zichen a thumbs up. She agrees to his request, promising to arrange an event for him to challenge the entire school. With a sheepish grin, he reminds her they must set up rewards, explaining that without prize money, no one would be motivated to challenge him. He then lays out his clever plan for the prizes. He suggests 2 types of rewards, a participation prize to encourage everyone, and a larger, cumulative prize pool that grows with each challenger. Whoever defeats him wins the entire pool. If no one can beat him within the time limit, all the money will be his. The principal, intrigued, smiles and agrees. Lin Zichen makes one final request: keep his true strength a secret for now. Otherwise, students might be too intimidated. She playfully pats his shoulder and agrees. Later, in her office, she shows Lin Zichen the finalized plan. He confirms it is perfect, thanking her for her hard work. As they speak, 2 teachers, Yao Yuanfeng and Liu Deren, walk by. They are shocked to see the principal's unusually cheerful demeanor towards Lin Zichen, wondering what is going on. Yao Yuanfeng is bewildered, remarking internally how the principal, usually a stern-faced she-devil, is now smiling so pleasantly, completely misinterpreting the situation. At 2 in the afternoon, the student body gathers in the gym, surrounding 2 large fighting rings where Lin Zichen and the principal stand. The principal takes the microphone and begins the announcement. She introduces Lin Zichen, details his recent victories, and explains the rules and prizes for his personal challenge against the entire school. The announcement causes an uproar. The crowd erupts in disbelief and mockery, with many shouting that the principal must have gone crazy. They are insulted by a first year's arrogance, questioning his confidence. One student angrily points out that defeating the second year's strongest class doesn't mean he can take on the third year's, while another calls him arrogant. Facing the hostile crowd, Lin Zichen calmly announces that starting the next day, he will be in the gym for 2 hours every afternoon, welcoming challengers. Internally, he is pleased by their anger, thinking that with so many eager to fight, he has a good chance of completing his survival of the fittest quest early. The scene shifts to a bustling city street at night. A young man with blonde hair walks alone, sipping a drink. His walk is interrupted when two attractive women step in front of him and invite him to a bar. The blonde man looks at them with a cold expression and bluntly tells them to get lost. As they walk away, they mutter that he has no charm. The young man watches them go, annoyed, wondering if Shanghai City is always this lame. The blonde young man is a new member of the Rat God cult, struggling with his first mission. Looking down at the people, he complains that after searching for days, he still hasn't found a single man attractive enough to be a worthy sacrifice. He is consumed by anxiety, picturing his cult leader and worrying how he will be perceived if he fails. He fears failure will lead to being ostracized. He had considered kidnapping a male celebrity, but realized it was impossible, as they are constantly surrounded by bodyguards, and he lacks the power to overcome them. As he walks, the pressure mounts. His deadline is fast approaching, and he is growing desperate. Just as he is lost in thought, Lin Zichen, out for a run in a tank top and shorts, sprints past him. The blonde man turns, and his eyes widen. He is immediately struck by Lin Zichen's appearance, thinking he has finally found an incredibly handsome man. He has found his target. The blonde cultist watches Lin Zichen run, feeling triumphant relief. After searching for so long, he has found the perfect target without even trying. A wide, sinister grin spreads across his face as he confirms his decision. Lin Zichen will be his sacrifice. He begins to follow his target, watching as Lin Zichen turns down a deserted industrial alleyway. Seeing the secluded area, the cultist's face twists into a horrifying black-eyed grin. He knows this is the perfect opportunity. Deciding it is time to strike, he unleashes his power and undergoes a grotesque transformation, his body contorting into a monstrous beast with a massive, tooth-filled maw. However, just as the transformed cultist is about to attack, a brick comes flying out of nowhere and smashes directly into its head with a sickening, bloody impact.